you doing, Dan?
I'm not too bad, Dan, thank you.
Good to have you on board, as they say.
Yeah.
You've been missing in action for a while.
Yeah, a little bit. Not as long as people think.
Yeah. When was your last show then?
It was actually very beginning of April last year.
All right,
Same date as the Saxon. I competed in... there's a show that not many Brits know about. I didn't know about it, to be fair, until the promoter actually invited me over, called Top de Colmar. It's in France. It's right up on the French border, I think, with Switzerland or wherever it's bordered with. And after the Pro University in 2016, I got invited by their promoter to go over there. He said he'd pay for everything and digs and food and everything. And I'd made quite a big cock up at the Universe when I competed in the first pro show. Looked awful. So I needed a little bit of redemption for myself. And on the motorway the next day on the way home, I got this inbox from the promoter. I think from the gist, what I feel he likes, like, sort of big, heavy bodybuilders.
Because, I mean, do you not have a nickname or anything like that? Dan, the man, WELBURN, you know.
None that I know of. Probably something that people say.
Not to my face.
Yeah. No, not so much. I don't think so. I think that's what he's into, because when I got over there, that's all the bodybuilders. I'm 6 foot. So
it's a lot to fill out, isn't it? You know, yeah. You're around the Dorian Ronnie Coleman type height, aren't you?
Yeah, height, yeah.
Height-wise. So, I mean, when you was at that show, what was you weighing? I
think I competed at 18 stone 5 that morning.
Yeah.
That was the hardest I've ever been for that show. Right. I got right down for that. Anth Bales was helping me out for that one.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Because you're from Hull, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm in Hull, yeah.
And Anth's just up the coastline, isn't he, up in...
yeah, Anth's up in Newcastle, so it's
Newcastle,
about... near Newcastle, I can't remember what it's called. About 2 hours, I think he is from me.
Yeah, Sunderland, Durham.
Durham.
It's Durham, isn't it? Yeah, of course it is. So do you ever go up and see Ant?
Yeah, we'll go up with friends and whatnot. So I see him from... Obviously, we're both very busy with lives and whatever, but we'll see each other when we can. But he helped me out for that one. Right. And yeah, I was down. Coming flat, but I'd rather be flat and hard than full and like I was at the Universe.
To be honest, that's really funny, because we touched on that a few times, and that's what Kerry Case used to always install from me at the very beginning when I was looking to compete. He said, always remember, it's better to go in slightly flat and hard as nails and dry than up full.
I learned that the hard way, definitely, yeah.
So where was that? You walked into the Universe, and is that what actually happened at that show?
Yeah, I'd just blown myself right. I've had overcarb to death. Just
what happened then? Because all right, let's go back. Was it a week before you was looking the dot? Yeah.
No, I was looking all right. I was running behind the full prep, to be honest.
Was you?
And I paggered myself down. If we go even further back, I'd had a long time. So after the University in 2014,
that's when you won.
Yeah, that's when I won.
Did you win the class, the overall?
No, I won the class, and then I got my pro card from that. I didn't go into the pro show that night because I knew I wouldn't do very well.
Okay.
So I just walked away with the
happy with what you got.
Happy with what I'd gotten. Thinking to go back, but I had 2 pretty bad injuries at the time. So both my bicep tendons at the top was partly ruptured, quite badly ruptured, and then sort of like frozen shoulders and things like that. So
what was that caused by?
I think I was actually shoulder pressing on a Smith machine one time by myself with no spot, and they just sort of went, but they didn't go completely, but it really ruined my training.
But you felt it at the time?
Yeah. It was bad. It was bad for a
little
while.
Behind? Was you doing it behind the net press or front?
In front. I was going in front.
Quite heavy?
Too heavy, yeah. The idiot, sort of 25-year-old, crazy in the gym as you do. And it sort of went, but I carried on, I had time off training, and then I competed all the year 2014. There's a lot more to the story, to be fair, through 2014. And then I won the University, and I got operated on straight away. So won the University in early November, or whatever it was, and then early December I got my left bicep reattached. So because I didn't want to really carry on training and risk it just coming off as an accident. So the surgeon said they'd reattach it. So all they do is they just take it from where it attaches, and then they just put it on your arm bone. So I had that 3 months off, and then went straight on and did my right one, and then 3 months off, or 3 and a bit months, whatever it is. So I had like 7 months off training completely.
How did that feel?
From going winning the University and not even training, it was awful. It was a pretty bad time. But you sort of just crack on. I put on the first my bodybuilding competition that year in 2015. Okay. So I wasn't training at that time. So at least I had that to focus on, and a lot of the people that prep for competitions and stuff like that.
How did you fill that void? I mean, was that it really?
Yeah, that was it. I mean, I had a big, obviously, as a bodybuilder, when you're competing over the years from 2008 when I started, you're on and off gear, you're on and off gear, you're on and off gear, but you never really like crashing off bad, like long time off.
Yeah.
So I decided to take a long time off. the gear while I was recovering.
Well, we'll come back to that a little bit anyway, what you're saying, but carry on what you're about to say.
In hindsight, I'd have done test replacement, but I
Would
thought,
you?
Yeah, but I thought it was better to be crashed out. But when you're not training, going sort of cold turkey or whatever you want to call it, and trying to get everything fired back up, it's not a good combination.
And what were the symptoms? What, like, how did what was going through? What was you going through? What was you experiencing? Because it's reminiscent from when I retired. I mean, like you say, I always had breaks, and there were times where I had extensive breaks. But I know exactly where you're going from over the course of 20 years, and then boom, and 12 months. I had to suck 12, it up.
So I was sort of like, I stopped after the university. I think I was like 9 months off. Which I think that's about the time actually it takes to start kicking back in.
It will be, yeah.
Yeah.
With me, I'd say it's about the same.
Yeah.
Because normal parameters is like, whatever the scope is, it's like 10 to 35 in the blood
I got
range.
tested and I was 0.9.
Yeah.
That was after 7 months.
Wow. I was below 1 when I first had mine done. And that was before I did my very last show, the British Grand Prix, but I thought, well, sod it, I'm just going to do it anyway. Yeah. And I was having breaks, so there's no escape from it. Even if you're having breaks and sustained period of time, over a long period of time, the usage, even with breaks, can catch you up. And as I say, I'm like you. It's like my daughter's got more tests than me.
Yeah, it was bad. I mean, I don't know if Chris can find it, but there's a photo on my Facebook somewhere, probably about May 2015, which when I put the picture on social media of how much I'd dissolved since. There was a picture from like 3 days out from when I won, and then a picture from like 9 months later, whatever it was, when I was just it was a bad line. And
you were basically just not, because you hadn't trained.
Yeah, not trained.
So there was nothing in there at all.
There was nothing in there, because the thing is, I probably shouldn't have took full time out of the gym, but I was that paranoid that this arm was in a sling and it was meant to be recovering, and then I was going to go in the gym and maybe pop that one off, and they won't do both because obviously you'd be like a penguin, you can't do anything. Penguin. Well, you got no arms, you're going to be like a penguin. So
I've got a joke about a penguin, but I won't say it.
So apparently that's not a thing that they'll let you do, even though I asked.
Yeah.
So I was so paranoid about the other side.
Right.
Then obviously when they did this one was still recovering, and I didn't dare start. So maybe I should have trained legs or something. I don't know, but you learn, don't you, as you go on. I just thought I'd take it some proper time off.
How did your other half? How was she feeling? And
Becky, she's brilliant. Becky, to be fair, she's always supportive of everything I do. She never gives me no shit. No. She's good. She's one in a million. Because
you know what I mean. There's always like the other half. If you have, you've got. If most people have the other half to contend with.
Poor girl, man.
But is it really like that?
Yeah. So she puts up with competing, then the downtimes, everything else. But yeah, it is what it is, isn't it?
But she's very supportive.
She's very supportive, yeah, and loving. She's good.
Well, that's the thing. That's the key. You need a real strong partner.
It's the best advice I can give to anybody.
Well, props. But Becky's it.
She's good. So obviously, I was eating terribly through that time. Sorry, I just cut you off. I just realised.
No, it's all right though. Yeah, no, it's fine.
We'll come back to her if you want.
Yeah.
I was eating terribly through that time, and I was sort of like.
Do you think that was a mistake? Because obviously you're trying to repair, aren't you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I was still eating protein and things like that, but there was just from training flat out since 18, and I mean flat out like a wannabe Dorian Ronnie sort of bodybuilder mentality, to then just nothing. It was just bizarre, and then I didn't have to eat. I didn't know what to eat. I was in the supermarket with Rebecca walking around Tesco's and what have you, and she's like, "What do you want for tea?" And I'm like, "I don't know. What do people eat? Like, do you know what I mean? It's just a chicken and rice."
Do you not think you wish you'd have carried on like you were doing, like prepping? Or do you tend to? Sorry, do you tend to then when your pre-contest is over in the off season? Are you the opposite of when you contest?
No, I'm pretty good. I mean, I like to eat. I've always had a big appetite my full life, but I'm just 100% or nothing, which is the problem. So when I'm nothing, I'm nothing. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
So when basically you felt as though you were incapacitated, and you're thinking, well, there's nothing to aim for, rather than looking at the point that, well, I'm incapacitated, I need to recover, and good nutrition will help me speed the process.
No, not me.
You didn't think like it. You didn't think like that, yeah.
No, I just thought.
But it's easy. Well, I suppose it's easy to lose your mojo a bit, especially when all of a sudden you're saying
and everything
you're crashing.
Else, you just sort of, the plane was going down and there was nothing I was doing to stop it.
Did you not use anything to try and get it back up, like the HCG?
Oh yeah, I did all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently that works. Bullshit.
Well, how was you actually, if you don't mind, because people will be very interested to hear this.
Before you ask that question, I was just looking at that photograph that he was asking. Is that anything to do with it?
No, that's when I come back. That was when I come back. So that was from when I was screwed. It's further back than that. That's 2016.
So 2015?
Yeah, it's about 2015, midway somewhere.
Right, I'll have
not quite that one there.
Sorry,
cheesy quote there. Thanks for showing everyone.
So yeah, I mean, because a lot of people really, but you know, everyone's like out there, but the whole idea is that people want honesty and you know, like to see people be upfront about things. I mean, we can't.
Well, this was one of the reasons why. Sorry, this is one of the reasons why I actually put that photo on of my deterioration. Yeah. Because I was sort of sat there and I put it together just for my own banter when I'd sort of come back to the gym, and I figured it somewhere it might help somebody. But what I've just been through wasn't nice at all mentally, from going from the top right to feeling like that. So I figured if I put it on, there's people realise you're human. Do you know what I mean? And they realise that you're not indestructible and all the shit that's on social media, that this and that. You never really get a true insight of what people are doing. Which I put it out, and I got so many messages I couldn't believe. Yeah, so many messages. Yeah. You're an idiot. You shouldn't have done that. No, I didn't really. No, just saying that it was brave and whatnot. Do you know what I mean? And
well, it is because you're putting yourself out there and showing you going through a very vulnerable stage.
Yeah, I just won my Nabba Pro card and everything, and I looked I remember my mate was in Nando's just after about that sort of window of that May time or whatever it is after I'd finished, and he said to the bloke behind the universe that I was Mr. Universe, and the kid burst out laughing.
No, you're like that,
and I was like, oh, I'm not even going to correct him.
Yeah, it must be absolutely deep down that much wounding in it though.
Yeah, sort of. I probably have got a big ego, but I like to think I've not, and I can sort of deal with being smaller. Do you know what I mean? But in a way, yeah, it sort of does.
I mean, when we're doing this kind of thing, and that
we've all got a bit of an ego. You can't not.
Who hasn't on the net? Who hasn't anyway?
I know. Yeah,
I think I found as you get a bit older, you tend to quash that. You know what I mean? And I look back and I go, Christ Almighty, my ego at times was massive. Yeah. And the same with a lot of people. It's admitting it, but it's controlling it.
Yeah, that's dead right. Yeah. And I think, to be fair, since I came back like so fast, I think I put about 6, because I lost a lot. I think I put about 6 stone on in.
So what did you? So where you weighed 18?
So I competed at that universe when I won it at about 17.
This was 2014, wasn't it?
Or somewhere around there. Yeah.
And you went down to.
And then obviously you blow up a little bit after the show to whatever, and I went down to about, I think it was like 15 or 16 stone or something like that.
Yeah, but not in the
good
same
15, 16
yeah,
stone.
because
like
at 17 and odd, you're like ripped, hard, muscular, and then you've got a compositional change where it's a lot of more fat.
Yeah, a lot of fat, muscle. And muscle. Carrying it like a woman, around the back of my legs and stuff, because obviously the test, and it was a big learning curve. And then I think I blew up something like 6 stone in the first sort of 5 months that I come back, because obviously I was able to train a bit better as well.
So what would you use? I mean, when you came off then, we're going to go backwards and forwards here, but when you were saying like the HCG, how did you actually structure your, what we call the PCT, post-psychotherapy?
I can't remember actually what I did. It was just whatever the general protocol is. 1,500 IUs of it.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah, whatever. And then Clomid. Right, here's a good one for you. So, Clomid every day, which I don't get on with that stuff well at all.
Some people get dead emotional. You're like that, oh!
Right, so you'll enjoy this. So I was taking the Clomid and then a tamoxifen as well.
Yeah.
And they were from a brand company that the packaging's exactly the same.
Right.
So I was actually taking... So I was feeling bad off the Clomid, so I was taking a tamoxifen and I was still feeling rough. So I said to whoever it was that I was speaking to about it, I said, we'll take an extra tamoxifen. So I said, all right. And I was feeling worse, and I was watching adverts on TV and thinking, life's not worth living. And then about 4 days later, I turned the packets over. They were both Clomid.
Oh, you're joking.
I'd been taking 3 Clomids a day.
No, because that's what it can really cause.
Yeah. The world was going down in flames.
Yeah, that's it. You know, you're well and truly well into your feminine side.
Yeah,
as you say.
that's a bad story.
You don't need a lot of Clomid. A lot of people think they do, but
I've done it since, because I've not been really using over the last year or so, and I've not touched the Clomid.
Well, I remember way back, and it was Brian Batchelor was a very good friend of mine, and there was a study done where 25 milligrams every day or every other day would actually double your own production.
Yeah, I can.
And I've got the blood test to prove that. The only thing that it actually increased was the luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulant hormones, which are the two signaling pathways. But the LH went up fairly high, so you have to be a bit careful. But again, it's
that was.
Yeah, I mean, it's the old adage that Brian used to say to me. He said, "Look, you don't use a sledgehammer to crack open a walnut."
Yeah, dead right.
And it's something I learned, a lot of. But going back prior to that, you said you started your bodybuilding career in 2008.
Yeah, so
I don't even know. How old are you now, Dan?
32, just turned 32.
Right.
Yeah.
So
younger than I look. And younger than I look and older than I act.
Well, listen, we are what we are.
Yeah.
As long as we're not truthful about ourselves.
Yeah,
I'm not even going to comment on me.
I cannot believe I'm older than him.
Yeah.
That's
fuck you.
That's frightening.
Fuck you. That's got to be a classic. Yeah, fuck
you. That stunned me. That stunned me.
You did. In fact, when I told you before, you nearly passed out.
Was it in Southport?
Yeah.
And I'm sat here going, I'm saying fuck off.
He didn't even try and hide his emotions. Yeah.
It's just like
3 whiskeys deep.
Just went like yes. So what are we now? We're 10 years ago then, so you first started out. So it was 22 when you...
Yeah, 22 was my first show. It was a UK BFF one, actually.
Okay.
It was the only one I ever did.
Where was that?
At Leeds.
Oh, right. The last qualifier at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the last year they ever did first timers before they scrapped it.
Right.
I did the first timers. I didn't know anything about bodybuilding. I didn't know any people or anything. It wasn't like it is now, where it's all you can see it all, and it was on social media. If you wanted to be a bodybuilder, you need to speak to somebody. So the only reference I had was Flex magazine at the time, and it was advertised in there. So I was like, I'll do that one.
So you can imagine how it was for time before that.
Yeah. Well,
but you're right.
I'm sort of in that middle area,
weren't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sort of in that middle area where it's not like it was when you was. And then I'm still sort of sat in it now, so I sort of caught the middle of it when it was still all right.
So John found some carvings in a cave, didn't you, mate?
It was.
That's what it was.
Muscle man.
Before print.
Yeah. Bad monkey. But so you went to that show, but so at 22, where did you begin to get the sort of the idea, or what is it that?
So what happened was,
I want to be a bodybuilder. Something must have triggered it off.
I went to the gym when I was sort of about 18 or 19, I think. I like muscles when I was a kid, and general usual story that everyone tells. I liked Arnold, blah blah blah. And I went and I responded quite well to it compared to all my friends that went, because like 4 of us that went to the gym.
Which gym was you going to?
It was just that Total Fitness so it was just a fitness gym. Yeah, because it wasn't too far off where my mum lived when I lived with her at the time, and my dad. So I joined there with my mate and seemed to get respond really fast to weight training. I didn't know how fast normal was, but I know it was faster than my pals. And there was a massive guy in there who turned out to be Nabba Class 1 competitor called Danny Gladstone.
Right.
And he was a big guy. He was sort of on stage, an 18, 19 stone sort of guy. And I was just mesmerised by somebody so big, it was just ridiculous. And then, so that happened, and I sort of tried talking to him. And I went to a bodybuilding gym that's not far from us to buy some protein before you ordered it online. And he gave me a Ronnie Coleman DVD, Cost of Redemption.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I watched that, and that was it. I was like, I'm going to look like that. Turns out that's not going to happen. But I didn't know that when I was 18 or 19 or whatever. And I was just hooked on it since then. So I was just trying to get bigger and bigger and bigger, because obviously there was no stepstone categories like with the physique and stuff now. It was just straight into the bodybuilding. And I went straight on and did that.
Do you think that was a good thing, though, that there was no sort of alternative categories at the time? Are you grateful for that, do you think?
It's horses for courses. There was no place for it at the time, because there's not enough people for it. It's only became because of the interest that's becoming bodybuilding to start with. It's not, they've not put the categories there, and then people have come flooded in.
Because of the fitness industry,
it's because it's sort of evolved the way it has, and everybody bashes it and everything else.
I used to a degree, but I've got to understand,
well.
because that was a hardcore bodybuilder in me.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it's still out there, and I can understand, listen to Ant Bales and I listen to Leroy, and we can always be in the trenches, but
I see both sides of the fence.
You do, because you've got now, this is that used to be all the gyms that there used to be in Britain, and now you've got this, and people are just training just to feel good.
Yeah,
look
which
good,
is,
but
that's their thing. That's fair enough. Whatever. So it's horses for courses. So I went into the first timers, which at 22 I suppose is fairly young because there's obviously full of men that have been training a lot longer and stuff. I did all right. I was just one place outside the top 3 because they only place to 3rd, don't they?
Well, yeah, it depends on how they feel, I think, at the time.
I asked the judges and they showed me the sheet and I was the mission, what is it, the elusive 4th that everybody gets, but I actually was. Max O'Connor was in the class. I think he won it, actually.
Great, I've said it before, Ment talks about him in fantastic physique.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Beautiful
Max is
proportions. Good. So he's,
Yeah, so he whooped me.
Did he go on to do anything? Did he do the finals at that time?
I think he did, because I think I actually went to watch. And
at Nottingham?
Yeah, it may become like 5th or something.
Really?
Don't quote me, but I'm sure it was somewhere around there.
Radio.
And then, so when I was prepping for that show, because I'd already set my sights on that one, I was with Ken Roscoe, the food tech guy. And he prepped me for that. It'd been the first show, and I was dead set on that one. And he'd mentioned Nabba and stuff to me. I didn't know there was at the time. I didn't know anything. And so when I went into my second year, I moved over to Nabba, and I went to the novices, and then I cracked on from there. So
what made you actually not? You said you did one UK BFF show. You didn't do any more. What made you sort of like go towards Nabba then?
I didn't really like the atmosphere at the UK BFF show. Looking back, if I'm honest, I don't think I realised that I didn't like it at the time. Right. I won't go into that, but everyone.
Do you mean the way it was run, or you mean
just
that
the
type of
general
thing?
Attitude of
people
that was there. So I got led more towards Nabba, saying it's like really friendly and northern, as they say about Nabba. It's a northern thing. So that's where I went. I went off to Nabba.
We're not here to bash people. I'm just trying to get a feel for where you go. No, I understand that, and I don't want that to be the case. I just wanted to get a feel of why someone might go there and maybe not go. So it's fair enough.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we might highlight something, and it might be a case of, well, if someone listens and hears this, they might say, well, listen, these are areas to improve on. I've had stuff said about me, and I gone, oh shit, I never really thought of it like that. You know what I mean? I've had a few, like clips around the ear and made me go, better change my tune here.
Yeah, it was nothing major. It was just
the way it was.
Yeah. So I went to, and then I did the Nabba UK the following year.
That's down in Dudley, is it? Is that the Dudley one? Or is that the Yorkshire one?
No, that's the other one. No, you're thinking of Castleford.
Castleford, that's the one,
That was in Batley at the time, though, so I just moved to Cass. So it was in Batley Frontier Club.
Yeah.
It was a good atmosphere.
That was the one with the big... Was that the one where it had the big giant car park at the side and the restaurant?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And it's the old Frontier Club where all the comedians used to come and that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was. I've seen you there anyway. I think that was the first time I'd seen you there a couple of years ago.
I know it was. I remember going there and Eddie went, what's the enemy doing here? I said, I can do what I want. I'm retired, if you don't mind.
I think I remember, yeah.
That's right.
I did that, and then I had a real good run with Nabba. I won that show, and then all the Class 1 shows and stuff like that. So it was good. I felt better in a height category as well than a weight category, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because being 6 foot, you end up with someone the same weight that's like 5'7", and you're screwed.
Because you've done the Britain about, is it 3 or 4 times?
Yeah, I've did the British 3 times. Yeah, the Nabba British 3 times.
You come 4th, 3rd?
Yeah, but 4ths and 3rds. That's.
So how did you? I mean, obviously not being crowned like the British champion, then go, I'm going to go to the universe. I mean, how do you equate? Then you're going from not winning the Britain.
I know.
Are you thinking?
I sort of wish I'd not took the Nabba Pro card and then gone back and done it, to be honest.
Right, with you.
But I was that fussy at the time. I was like, I'll take it.
But at the end of the day, you turned up. Was you expecting? I'll tell
you exactly what happened, to be honest. You know that year I said the 2014?
Yeah.
So I'd done 2011, won the Nabba overall, 2012, won the Nabba, and then gone to the finals, and both times got 4th. So I thought, what I'll do is I'll take all 2013 off, just get massive, because that's what you think like, and then go back in 2014, and that's for me. I landed in my mind that was my title, and that was it.
Yeah.
Nobody was going to stop me, blah, blah, blah. So then in the beginning of 2013, or the end of 2012, that's when I did my shoulders in, on the press, I was on about. So all 2013, I was sort of on, off with training, thinking it'd just repair, like stupidly. I didn't have the good advice to know that it wouldn't, and then eventually it wasn't until 2014 that I got scanned. So I set off prep in January for the British, to get qualified to do the British. And then I started seeing more physios, and I was travelling off to Leicester and stuff like this, having sugar injections into my tendons and everything you can think of stuck in my shoulders from at the hospital. I'd had these sugar injections to try and repair the tendons, which inflames your shoulders for like days. So I was like 2 weeks off training. So
needed stem cell technology.
Oh man, it was bad. So and I think later in the year I ended up having where they numb it or whatever.
Yeah, cortisol.
So in that prep for that British, leading up to the qualifier, the Northeast, I missed 6 weeks weight training. I want weight training for 6 weeks because they were jabbing me and this and that. I was doing my legs still.
Yeah.
But my upper body. And then when I was training, I couldn't train shoulders because obviously I couldn't train shoulders for that full year. I didn't train them all year. But luckily I got quite good shoulders, so they sort of mixed into my... Yeah, I'd not trained shoulders for about 2 years there.
You're joking?
No, yeah. They were just really good before that, and then everything sort of caught up. That's why my chest was shit compared to my arms, because I couldn't do much on my chest neither.
It's a nice shape, but I know what you mean. It's just not quite.
I mean, I've got a short chest anyway, but so I was doing time under tension training anyways for all that year, but really slow, really light.
Was that really to help strengthen the tendons? And
no, it was because I couldn't do anything else. I was limited to like 3 movements for chest, which was like a hammer press, and then a low cable crossover. And one like chest machine that they had at the gym, and that's all I could do. Yeah. And it was all like 1 plate aside on the hammer. Oh, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4. This is for months. 3. Yeah. And that's all I did. I lost so much power by the time I got back. It was unreal. Yeah. But it managed to keep some sort. It's kept something in the muscle.
Well, in a way, there's a lot that they do say that the time under tension. I've always used fairly,
Yeah, powerful. Yeah, it's just the way I like to train.
I've always liked to sort of like use time under tension, but within a certain parameters. Not overly exaggerated, but a nice, smooth, concise movement. Yeah. But they do say that helps strengthen the tendons, but you've got no option.
Well,
have you?
I think it probably doesn't help strengthen it. Probably just stops them getting smashed up. That was that's all I used, a plate either side on a hammer press. That was the heaviest weights I used, but I managed to keep some of the muscles there. So, but with the time off during that prep, off the weight training, I was an idiot. I probably shouldn't have competed. My training partner was like, look, you need to call it a day. Yeah. I was like 6 weeks out, 5 weeks out, and I just got back to training weights after another 2 weeks. Get to within like 2 weeks blocks, do you say?
Yeah.
Or whatever it was, 4 weeks, I can't remember. And I thought I'll just go for it. So I come in really small. I was about early 17 stones, which for me is like about 10 pounds small. Yeah. So I just looked small for what I looked like me, but small. I mean, I was hard, and I won the qualifier, and I won the overall as well. So I was pleased with that.
But you wasn't pleased. I wasn't yourself.
Me. Yeah. I wasn't pleased with myself at all. I was pleased that I managed to take an overall qualifier in that shape. And then I did the British, and I come third behind Lee Harding. He won it, and Josh Maley, who come second. And then I come third behind them two. And then what happened after that? And then I was just pissed off, man. I was absolutely pissed off. I don't never get pissed off when I don't win, because I'm not really that kind of character. I just sort of go in and try a bit harder and come back. Usual sort of thing that people say but don't mean, but I do mean it. Yeah. And that's what I did. And then I was speaking to the surgeons at the time, and they were saying, we're going to recover your shoulder and all this, blah, 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 blah. So I put the operation off from the September to the December, and I just wanted one last crack at the universe, because I'd sort of been able to put the muscle back on that I'd lost, even with just the time under tension training. And I said, I want to crack at the universe, because if they fuck these up, I might not do another one.
So you was actually carrying on the same weight, same style of training right through to the universe?
Yeah, right through. And managed to sort of put on what I'd lost. So you can put the weight back on. But I think you lose a lot in prep anyway, especially if you miss some weight training sessions. It just disappears, doesn't it? Yeah. So I managed to put the weight back on, and then I just had no interruption. So at the very beginning of prep, I got the cortisol injections in all of my tendons in my shoulder, because they were all so swollen from just like malfunctioning and not working properly and running properly. And then I just did the prep. I didn't expect to win it. I just wanted a top 6. I'd had a top 4 in 2012, 2 years before. Yeah. I come 4th. I won't go into that for winning. I just wanted to get a place in on the podium. And then if I had to call it a day after that, I was done. Yeah. And then after prejudging, everyone was like, fucking hell, you're going to win, blah, 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 and all this.
And was that obviously down to conditioning was bang on?
Yeah, I got my conditioning pretty good. Still not as good as it needed to be, but I just think the guy who comes... Well, I tied on points, actually, with the guy that come second. The guy who come third was 1 point behind, so it was close. I just won on count back. Wow. The guy who come third was Fabian, who won the overall universe in 16. Yes. Fabian Meyer. Yeah, he was in it. He come third, and then another big Czech guy who come second. Fabian wasn't as developed then. I mean, it's a lot better than me now, but at that time he wasn't quite as developed. And I think I was maybe the more pleasing shape out of the other two big guys, if you know what I mean.
So it was a close call, but you got it.
Yeah, I got it. That's all that mattered, yeah.
And you must have been like, wow, how have I managed to pull this off?
I was sat in my hotel room in between Bridges in the night, and everyone's telling me they think I'm going to win. Thinking, nah, I was just sat drinking a cup of tea. Thinking,
you're like that? No,
I
not
didn't
after all that's gone on.
I panicked that much. I didn't eat anything. I couldn't eat or nothing. All I had was a cup of tea. So when I went back out on the night, I was a bit smooth and sort of. I think I'd flattened off without realising.
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't do the pro or anything like that, because I knew I looked worse. Yeah. I could see as soon as I was pumping up.
Was it you couldn't? You literally wasn't. You just physically couldn't bring yourself to eat.
Yeah. I don't know what I did. I just panicked, thinking I want a good picture on the night, and that was it. I didn't expect to be going into the pro show or anything like that.
Yeah.
And naivety, I didn't know to eat or anything like that. I just sort of just didn't dare.
and that was it then. And so you got the universe, but you was happy with that. You didn't go into the pro show.
I was buzzing with that. Yeah.
And so.
I'd have got annihilated in that pro show anyway. Barney won the overall, and he was hard as
nails.
Oh,
remember it? Yes, he was hard as hard as nails.
And he come sixth, so there's no way I would have got in there.
Yeah.
I'd have got wiped out.
Because he won the overall, didn't he? Amateur Universe. That's right.
Yeah. That was the same year. That was when
that's
I did
right.
It,
I remember it now. I do remember it. Remember that. So when you were going back, I mean, how would you describe yourself then prior to being a bodybuilder? When you was at school and that, was you quite a competitive kid? Did you love sports, or was you?
I did karate. I got a black belt in karate. That I've done.
Okay.
I got that really young. I started that when I was like 6, and I think it's just a bodybuilding mentality. Well, I've applied that mentality to bodybuilding. It's an all or nothing thing. So,
and that's why you sort of fell into it and felt comfortable.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, even when I was 8, 9 years old, I was going to karate 5-6 times a week and training in my bedroom and everything like that. And just bang, bang, bang. I was just obsessed with it. And Bruce Lee and all things like that.
Did Bruce Lee have an impact on you? Because I know Dorian always looked at... Dorian Yates used to say Bruce Lee was the one...
did he really?
Yeah, when he stood there like that.
Thing on,
and you look at him, he's got this V-tape and he's hard as nails.
Yeah, I did like it, but I didn't like that skinny sort of look.
It was a very...
the Arnold, and the movies sort of look. But I did that and I was...
Here's one for you. What class would Bruce Lee be in now?
I don't even know what he bloody weighed. Would he be a bantamweight?
8 stone, one inch.
Would he be in like a physique category?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, the options are open now. But if
Bruce
it was
Lee
bodybuilding,
can do whatever he wants.
Yeah. Bruce goes at that.
Class 1.
I do water.
Yeah.
I will go wherever I want.
You don't want to get right under off Bruce Lee.
Would it be in a physique category?
Well, if it was bodybuilding, it'd be one of the very, very light classes. In America, they used to have bantamweight. They only have lightweights. Yeah. If it's based on weight categories, say within, like it was the UK BFF.
Under 70 kilos.
Under 70 kilos. And obviously with Nabba, though, because it's height, you know what I mean? You could go in the short class, but it'll be giving away God knows how much muscle. Doesn't mean
with the new fitness division coming in.
Yeah, there'd be men's
physique, something like that. Yeah, more than anything. Yeah, cover, wear the board shorts and then just show the upper arm. That would definitely be him, wouldn't it?
Interesting.
Yeah, and he'd beat the crap out of the opponents backstage and say it's only me. So I didn't even know that. So how long did it take you to get your black belt?
It would have been 6 years. I was a black belt when I was like 12 or something like that.
And did you get any of your dans?
No, so because it was Dan's Dan. Sorry. So because I was junior, I had to wait till I was 16 or 17 until then they take your belt back off you and then you get regraded. They did with what I did anyway. I don't know how all the other ones work, but because I think there's different types of karate.
Okay.
With this one, they take your belt back off you and then they regrade you and then you do your blacks and then you go on to do your dans from that. Well, by the time that come, I'd already started being a bit of a knobhead teenager and misbehaving and all the other things that you get up to.
What? Go on, enlighten us.
No.
Go on, yeah. Was you just was you having a bit of the cider and all that?
Yeah,
and
the cider and the weed and whatever, and I got kicked out of school when I was 14.
Did you?
Yeah, 15, whatever it was.
Listen, you got to tell. This is part of the story that this is done. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean that you've where you are now.
I don't totally regret it.
You know, everyone goes on about doing it the right and wrong way. I mean, how many people out there have got degrees and they're doing bugger all in their lives?
You just use what's to hand at the time.
Was there a reason why you sort of like went off the rails, or was it just typically following the crowd?
Yeah, just did whatever I want, whenever I want, and then thought about it later. So I left school at, I think I was 14, 15, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Got a job on a building site, cash in hand, £10 a day, blah, blah, blah. Learned what hard work meant. And then all the lads on site was like, you need to get a trade. Yeah. So then I applied for college to go do joinery.
Yeah.
And off the back of working for that building company, they gave me a real good reference, and I managed to get on the course.
See?
So it paid off all right.
But my point is that it doesn't. But look, it's like going back. You look at, Dorian's bringing out his own book, by the way, his own autobiography, and quite a lot of us know what happened to him when he was a dead leg and he was in that the Borstal and that. And the thing is, it's easy to enjoy life when when the ride's just constantly lovely and all flowery, but that's not how life works, is it? No. And it shows the character of a person when it gets shit.
Yeah.
And your character is actually, as a person, is probably at a low point, and you're not doing anything that's inspiring others, and certainly not helping yourself. But it's the true measure of a man is how you come out from that.
Yeah.
What do you learn from it? What do you take? And I think that's the only testament to yourself. Sometimes you have to lose yourself to find yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I probably wouldn't do it again if I go back. I'd go back and get an education.
I know what you mean.
Make life an easier ride, but it is what it is. It's done.
Of course it is.
I've done all right. So
you went into joinery, did you say?
Yeah, so I was a joiner from 16 up until I was 23. So it clashed with my first couple of years competing.
Yeah.
And it was just hard, man, being on site, like competing. And I thought, how can I make this life easier? Because I'm not going to stop competing. So I just went into personal training, standard, as everybody does.
Okay.
Easy life in the gym. And I left building site at 23, and I'll never go back. I don't think.
And is that what you still do to this day now?
Yeah, I'm still a PT now, So I've got my own personal training company.
Okay.
That's based in Hull.
Yeah.
I prep a lot like women for shows and stuff like that with my missus as well. We both do that.
Would you say you're more busy with the ladies as you are more so than the men?
Yeah, definitely.
Why would you say that is?
It was sort of marketed that way for a while. It still is, to be fair.
It's called muscle honeys, John.
It's what?
Muscle honeys.
What? That's what the site's called.
I
thought you was.
Are you still at this interview? That's what the company's called. So we prep a lot of women. We prep a lot of normal women. We prep women for the shows and stuff. You'll have seen them all. You've commented on them.
Anyone, the ladies who are seeing this can say, hey, we got the muscle honeys.
Yeah, we've done all right last year. We won the Nabba UK, won the Nabba Yorkshire where he was, won the Nabba Britain, won the Nabba Universe the year before, won the North East. We cleaned up pretty much through Nabba last year in the shows that there was in, apart from...
So it's across the board, like from bikini to fitness?
Well, there's not that in Nabba, is there? It's just toned figure.
Oh, it's toned figure.
Mainly toned and athletic figure girls. I've got some bikini girls. But we've done really well out there with all different girls.
Do you help... obviously you help people no matter whatever the federation they choose
definitely,
to go through. That's what I mean,
I never usually take on people that are wanting to do like UKBFF or Two Bros or whatever, because I don't know the divisions. And I don't go to the shows. Right. So I'm not going to offer out expert advice on and charge people
unless you know it.
Unless I know it inside out, like I do the Nabba and the PCA, of course. Yeah. And then obviously I was involved with the PCA when that formed and the women's class.
Well, that brings us back. I mean, the PCA. How long's that been going now with Ryan and Warren in it?
That kicked up about the end of 2015, I think.
And so, how did you find yourself becoming? Because you are now one of the judges, aren't you? There.
Yeah. And I'm on the committee as well, the PCA committee. So I was there when it all started. Just by speaking to Ryan, I went to his Saxon show that year. Yeah, that was the show that I went to when I was all skinny after my operations. Right. And I got talking to Ryan and what have you, and I put my first show on in Hull in 2015. In early May, and it was just an open show. It was the first one I'd ever done, a bit of scaffolding on stage, sort of thing, in a nightclub. It was good, but we had 1,000 people in the crowd. We'd packed it, which is, you don't often get that many people.
No, you don't.
For a show, because there used to be a Mr. Hull show back in the 90s. It just took off as soon as we launched it. It's off the back of me winning the Universe and people starting to know who I was and things like that locally as well. Yeah, we did really well. I think that was probably noticed by Ryan, and then I was just chatting to him in general. And then he said, we're talking about setting up a federation and what have you. If you want to be involved? So I was like, hell yeah. And
so you was involved before as the inception basically. That's the word I was going to use. Yeah. So as it was sort of taking shape, so you were right there from the beginning.
Yeah, from the off.
So you saw the vision. Basically, they explained what they wanted to do, where they wanted to go with it all, and
and I had a good hand in putting like the women's classes together and deciding what was going to go on with that and stuff. Because obviously that's what I do as a job. So there was a lot of debates between are we going to have bikini or is it going to be Nabba style or UK. Yeah. So we needed to sort of merge that together and make sure there was something for everybody.
So they have the bikini class. Yeah.
So we have everything, yeah.
It's growing. It's a big class, isn't it?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's all got to evolve into, and maybe it'll lead somewhere else that I don't know yet. Yeah. Time will tell, but obviously NABA's stacked out with the women with the toned figure and the athletic now and what have you.
Yeah.
And then UKBFF was stacked out with the bikini.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, we needed both, and then you can sort of draw from everywhere. And everybody's got somewhere to go.
Yeah.
And you're seeing now, like before UKBFF, the bikini girls, I don't think had ever dreamed of putting on Dreamtown and a thong.
Yeah.
And doing a gypsy tone figure dance at a Nabba show. But now they're seeing more of it thingy, and I think tone figure girls would have never done a bikini class because they viewed it as smaller and this and that. But now they're seeing more of it at the piece because they're at the same shows.
Yeah.
A lot of them are switching over and moving between the two classes and what have you.
We got the Saxon shows on the 8th of April, isn't it?
2 weeks yesterday,
Yeah. I was because I spoke with Ryan and he was saying it's like absolutely sold out.
It's chocker.
It's chocker,
yeah. There's about 230 competitors.
Yeah, he did. He said that. He said it's just bonkers.
Yeah, so we'll have a good day.
He's at a new venue in it as well.
Yeah, he's moved it from wherever it was last time. I can't remember the name. So is it Lichfield or something like that now? Or that's where it was, and he's moved it. Yeah. I don't know the area that well, but he's at a bigger theatre than he was anyway. So that'll be banging that show. I don't know if you're going. Yeah,
well, I said because we're away and I get back on that morning. So if we can maybe get there, then you never know. So if you want to come along, Chris, we can probably do a little bit backstage interviews. I don't know if you're free on that. That's on the.
He's not leaving this room after he told me he don't believe my age.
Is that the Saturday or the Sunday?
I'm trying to think. I'm not sure.
Sunday
the 8th.
Yeah, we're back that morning, aren't we?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Back that morning, it might be a case of bump.
We'll have to see.
Never know.
Never know. There.
We can't say where we are. We can at the end.
Yeah.
We will. But yeah, that's what we're doing. So so when you look back, I mean, who heavily influenced you from going into being wanting to be a bodybuilder? I know you said like your Arnold's and that, but was there a typical? I always remember a typical moment. And I've always looked at the the pictures and I've seen the movies, but I always remember the one I said before with Rambo on the billboard. And Stallone did it for me. Stallone and Frank Bruno. Not really, exactly your out-and-out bodybuilders, even though there were others. I was like, wow, how do you get like that?
I always like the big freaky guys. So, like I say, when that Jim gave me that Ronnie Coleman Redemption DVD, I put it on. Yeah. I was like, what the hell is that?
Did you know much about Dorian? Because Dorian had retired 10 years prior to that. So you
didn't have a clue.
No.
Just knew nothing really, and then just learnt everything off the back of that.
And so the current crop was what you was really immersed in,
No, I love Dorian. Yeah, we got all that
so you knew
that after that. Yeah, I just didn't know it was.
Sure, you see. Yeah, you know what I mean?
So I've gone from Ronnie and then obviously started buying Flex magazines. Dorian is from Birmingham, and then you're on the internet, on what have you, what it was then. And then you start learning. I bought the DVD or whatever, his training DVD off eBay and watched that. I was like, Jesus Christ, yeah. And then obviously as YouTube started getting more and more busy, start watching things on there and watching. I love Dorian's sort of approach.
So and that leaves us that's ideal because you look at Dorian's approach. It's a training system, or shall we say, a way of training I always incorporated, and I was doing it, funnily enough, before I even realised why.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's why. Is that how you?
I think people say you got to train like this, you got to train like that. I think you just train how you instinctively train.
Yeah.
Like I just attacked everything like full pelt.
Yeah.
Much to my downfall later on, but that's just the way I felt like training. That's what I did. And then like now you're seeing all people coming out on like progressive overload. I'm thinking, well, what other ways of training is there? Like exactly. You just try and get stronger.
Progressive overload. It's called progressively overloading over time.
Yeah, just try and get better every week. What did I do last week? I remember it and try and beat that. That's just what I did.
Yeah.
And then it's a thing now. Like
and was it that one set? That, did you work work your way up? Then it was one set to complete failure. Force reps, negatives.
Yeah, I did it. Practically everything.
And then you can't do no more, can you?
No. I learned how to burn out quick as well. I didn't realise I was burnt out for a long time.
So where you did, so it sounds to me that, was it a case of you didn't know when to back off?
Yeah, I didn't know when to
stop. How long would you carry on training like that? I mean, like you started, did you have a phase or did it just keep going until you felt
I carried on training burned out for about 6 months. I didn't know. I just thought that was how you meant to feel when you train. Yeah.
Wow.
Sleepless nights and like all the rest of it.
So you was well overtrained.
Oh, I was bombed out. And then I remember someone sort of telling me about it, or I'd read it or whatever, and I thought, because I was reading it, I was thinking, fuck off, I don't need to do that, I don't need to do that. So then I just took like a little bit of time off the gym, like a week or whatever.
Yeah.
And I gained like a stone in like the time I'd had off. I couldn't walk, I'd gained that much weight that fast.
Because you was looking for this lineal growth carrying on.
Yeah,
and
I didn't know anything about overtraining or anything like that. And when I was very young, I was bending the candle at both ends anyway, going out on a weekend 1 minute and all the rest of it. Yeah. And then working and then gym and what have you. But yeah, as soon as I learned that, things took off really fast.
How long, at what point did that, the penny drop, as I say?
Just when I tried it, just that week, and I just gained all that weight so fast, and I thought, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
And then I thought, right, okay.
So how did it change from then? How did your your approach change to, even though you was probably training heavy, how did it get, what was the structure? You must have sort of applied a more structured approach then.
You'd think so, yeah.
I was expecting that, no,
I just blasted the shit out of the gym.
Yeah.
I ate as much as physically possible. If it wasn't nailed down, I was eating it. I was working on building site anyway, so... and then I just kept going and going and going until I injured myself, basically. Yeah. And that's really when I've had to learn more about how the body works and backing off and this and that. And then I was doing time under tension and all the shit that you don't really want to do, but you have to if you want to stay in the gym. And since I got back from the operations and got my shoulder sort of unfrozen because they froze up a bit there for a while, I'm now pushing, but not. I tried the logbooking thing last year, which made it a little bit interesting for a while, but then it just sort of ruined training for me. It was just boring. I just push myself, and if I feel I can do more, maybe do some drop sets or this and that. And
so you like to so in a way you like to train hard, but with more of an instinctive approach.
Yeah, and then throw in for more reps and drop sets and this and that, and rather than just going for that weight.
I know what you mean.
I'm one bang away from ending me training again. I've learned that with this. And I know there's a lot of people online doing it and this and that, and some it'll go bang on them eventually, and then they'll learn the other way.
See how I used to structure it, and it's pretty much like I suppose whether it was again, but having sort of fortunes to speak with Dorian and that when we were working together, but we'd structure it so that we'd go hell for leather for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And then beyond that point, then it would back off.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And then what we'd do then, so we'd be using gear for say 6 weeks, and I wasn't a massive user, as I say, like irrespective of what people bloody say. Then I would come off and I would go on to the PCT. But during that time, my weights would go down, my reps would slightly go up, and I wouldn't go to complete annihilation. But around about the 9th, 10th week, I had a complete break where I wouldn't touch a weight.
That's what I've started doing now.
And so I'd have that structure in place, so it'd be like, like within that period, so it'd be like, blah, blah, blah. And that's how I found out it worked a treat for me.
Yeah, so, I don't know if that's age related. I'm not.
No,
into your 30s when that.
To be honest with you, I was also speaking to Brian Batchelor about it, and Brian says, "Don't wait for this to happen.
Yeah.
Bat smart and ease back before you do hit the brick wall, because it's going to hit you hard."
Yeah.
And so I'm always very grateful for the good conversations I had with Dorian and Brian Batchelor, superb, really good. We had some right good in-depth discussions, if you get my meaning, and just chatting in general. And I like to think you apply, like, you sit back and go, logic and common sense. How really? What do you know what I mean? Because you're eventually gonna. It's like you say, if you're driving a car fast and furious, it's gonna just bump. The piston's gonna bump. Something's gonna go.
Yeah.
So you'll lose control and crash into a wall.
I'm just trying to avoid that now. Basically, that's all I'm doing. And if I'm accelerating 5% slower than other people, then so what? I'm not bothered.
Slowly, though. It's a marathon, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what's going to be your next approach then with regards to yourself competing?
Family first. I'm trying to start a family.
Yeah, because
so that's why I've had quite a bit of time off since last year and stuff. Obviously, got to come away from things to make things work properly.
How are your bloods now? Because obviously, when you come off, again, you dipped.
Yeah, everything's really good. Everything's really
in the
good.
normal ranges.
I'm still quite a heavy guy, but everything's pretty good.
Are you eating healthily and well? And are you just...
I like a little bit of a drink on a weekend sometimes now. Nothing crazy. I was out this weekend, but I can see how it's easy to fall into a relaxed life. You don't realise how crazy bodybuilding life is until you take half a step back.
It's true though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I look at it now, Chris, and I think, I did that for 20 years.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, If I wanted to, I know I've got that beast mentality where I could switch back in and go, right, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But I think it's whether you want to.
Yeah, it's all the thing. Yeah, I had my foot flat to the ground for like 10 years or whatever it was, and then I had some time off for my operations, but I was itching to get back. It didn't really cross my mind. Then I've been flat out for another 2 years since I got back. And so you just sort of, I just needed to. It's a good thing that I've come back from it because I feel actually better for it.
Yeah.
And when it's time to go back, I've got a few years left in me. Like, I mean, I'm not old. I know I'm only 32. But I've always said I want to be done by sort of 36, 37.
Okay.
And then go from there. So maybe another 5 years, a few more years.
And what have you set yourself any goals that you want to aim for in that time frame?
Well, there's only really one for me if I stay doing on the line that I'm doing, and that's the Nabba Pro Universe.
Yeah.
Win, which whether that's with or within my genetics, I don't know. Would find out when I put the foot back down, but I will try. Put it that way.
Well, would you say you have good or poor? How would you sort of say?
I think I've got good genetics, but I do stupid things.
Well, that can be easily rectified then, isn't it? I mean, if you've got good genetics, and if you want any pointers, I can help you. You know what I mean? Just say, don't do that, you stupid knob.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't do that.
When people say that, I do it more. That's the problem. I've got worse.
Is that teenager still burning inside?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I have got smarter now. I have got smarter, and I'm being smarter, and I think it's probably within my capability. And people have told me that quite a lot of times that it is. It's just indulging myself back into that life, and if we do start a family, which is the plan, which we will, then there's a kid around, and I'm not 25 anymore with like living in my mum's spare room, just not caring about anything. There's a lot more, and I'm not saying
stakes are higher.
I'm not saying it's impossible. Loads of people do it with family, do it with loads of kids. Do you know what I mean? And hats off to them. It's just how much you sacrifice. I'll wear that bridge when I come to it.
I know, and I look back, and it's like, even though when I was married, it wasn't the longest of marriages, should I say. I was with her for 7 years, but we were married less than 18 months. But Chloe was free. And during that period of time, because we were so focused, and the worst part about being, and they go on about balance, and it's so true, but when you're so focused and that so driven,
get it.
And your energy levels, you're trying to, your energy's going into your training, when you can do your cardio, and then when you're not around, and it's horrible because you haven't got the energy to really want to give and play, and it's so wrong.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I look back and I go, you bastard. You know what I mean? There's a lot of self-hate towards me.
That's what crosses my mind.
And it's something that they say you should never regret it, but it's always there with me.
Yeah. And that's what sort of plays my mind.
And what drove it home to me more was watching did you see the Flex documentary?
I ain't seen it yet, no.
Oh, listen, every bodybuilder, everybody in the game, as soon as I watched it, I actually cried watching it. I did. It brought me a tear, and one of my mates came into the house at the time, and I'm like, just let me put up. I watch it on iPad and put it up. I said, sorry, just caught me at a very emotional time, and he's laughing. His head. I said, oh, it's so sad, and it was quite touching at times.
Was it
really? Really. Because obviously Dallas McIver, who died and passed away, was one of his best mates. So, but it was a beautifully executed documentary. I don't think they could have done it any better. And I really thoroughly enjoyed it. And it's shown you how he was with his little and the importance of family life.
I think those lessons are only learned the hard way sometimes, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think you're quite fortunate you've got a missus. Are you married, Dan?
No, I'm engaged. I just got engaged at Christmas,
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
Where you've got a partner there who understands what you're going through.
Yeah, she's good.
Whereas John, she wasn't involved, I take it, in bodybuilding.
No, she wasn't. She knew that what I did, and you know what I mean. She knew I was into bodybuilding, but everyone who knew me knew I was a very, very intense individual. You are intense. I am an intense person, passionate. I mean, what I call very impassioned person, and intense. And when I was in the thick of bodybuilding, I was just on another level. It was just.
You can't be at that level that you was at without being that way.
I know, but it had its price to pay.
Definitely,
and you think, and you know what I learned that as towards I got to the end, and it comes with age, I suppose. The more relaxed, you've only got to go in the gym and train bloody hard, kill it, and then when you're out, make sure that the food that you need to eat is it, and then switch off. And it's that bit being able to switch off and sort of deprogram yourself and think, I don't have to be like, because you used to think, if I'm not miserable, I'm not doing it right. And it's a sad thing to say, but that's how the mental approach used to be at times.
Okay.
And that's a bad thing. And that's why I try and say to people, look, try and have a smile on your face.
I always try and stay chipper all the way
You've
through.
Got to. And you know what? And that's where I hold my hands
Do you
up.
ever experience that in the gym or with the fellow athletes who aren't coping with it well? Do you see that about?
What, that
kind of
just miserable?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I think sometimes people just need a talking to and just like realise just you're doing it to yourself. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, I never complained.
No, I'm not saying
I was one of them where I just
general, like people.
No, I wasn't one of them. I was one of them where I was in and just people wouldn't come near me.
Yeah,
they just knew you don't come near me because
I get like that in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm not like. Well, I probably am an arsehole, maybe, but I just don't want to talk to anybody, and that's
not being an arsehole.
I just don't want to talk.
Yeah, but if you're looking at a boxer and they're getting in the boxing ring, you know, and they're sparring, do they want Joe Blow coming up to him in the corner while they're trying to get the breath back to go into the next?
Of course,
you just don't do it. And so that was a hard bit for me. You know what I mean? I wasn't being horrible. I'd speak to anybody before or after, but while I'm in that pot zone, that's my time. Want to just get on with it.
Do you know when you're training, Dan, and you put yourself into that cocoon mode, that's, you know, you're really deep into it. Yeah. Are you visualising anything?
Yeah, just looking the best that I can possibly look. I think about when I'm training the gym, you mean? Yeah, when I'm training, I just get thinking about how my back needs to look while I'm on stage and imagine the posing and.
You're actually picturing yourself.
Yeah, I always do that. Yeah, and if I need extra motivation, just think of crazy things like you stood there and everyone's laughing at your legs compared to the people's next to his legs, and just all the shit that people probably do think but never say it out loud. Did you
ever get emotional as well as you got nearer to the time, picturing?
Yeah, is that a thing? Because I do that. Yeah.
No. I don't care who you are. I genuinely believe this. If you're a bodybuilder and you've set your sights on a big competition and you truly think in your heart of hearts, I used to visualise on the treadmill and I'd be in floods of tears.
Yeah, it was cardio when it got me.
Picturing myself winning, and good job you're on your own because people go, "What's up with you?" But it's that visualisation becomes so real. You're actually there, and you're in that moment, and you. It's not just dreaming, but it's there in your mind. It's so.
Yeah. I've got me on cardio, and you get like a whoosh that comes up,
and you're like, oh, and you start crying, and it's really, really weird.
But I do my cardio outdoors. And I live on the estate, so next to me there's a tramp walking by with a whiskey in his hand. Snap you out of it fast.
Yeah, go like that. And back to reality. Yeah. Oh, dearie me, yeah. It's like, oh, where'd you go with that, eh? But it's true. You get very emotional in prep. I don't care who they are.
I can imagine. Just to let you know, we're coming up to an hour.
Ah, well, there you go.
Fairly quick. Has it gone quick for you, Dan?
Yeah, it's fast.
Very
slowest hour of my life.
Get me out of here. Yeah. Going back to it's referred to as a delicate subject. It's not a delicate subject because at the end of the day, you look at the way things are. There was a program on. Did you see that program on that Jeremy Kyle did the other day?
I caught a bit of it. Yeah, no, I don't really watch things like that.
Oh, dearie me.
I seen Facebook blow up after it had been out. I think I caught the last 10 minutes or something.
In part, I could understand where he was coming from in with regards to there's more and more people using stuff. But there you've got a guy who's smoking his head off and giving it all a large and and it was his supercilious attitude of saying, why does anybody want to look like that?
Yeah.
And you go, well, perhaps if you took your top off, we'd go, because we don't want to look like that.
I don't let stuff like that bother me. I don't really.
I didn't even watch it on purpose.
Yeah,
I didn't see it.
I don't bother because there's no point. There's no point getting angry over nothing. It's like the conversation we was having about Facebook earlier. I just stay out of it.
I know it's laughable, innit? It gets that traction, but it's like, leave it as it is. You know what I mean? And I just thought, oh, come on. What's all that about?
Yeah, I still did see Facebook erupt after.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah.
I tried.
As expected.
Yeah, I mean, what social media? How do you cope with stuff like that and using social media?
I just try not to get involved in any debates or arguments or anything like that because there's no point. Because I'm not a confrontational kind of person anyway, and I hate drama. I can't stand drama. So I just stay away from it. I use it to promote my business.
Yeah.
And my competitions and things like that and what have you. And if I didn't have any of that stuff, I wouldn't be on there, I don't think.
No.
I do have times when I come off for like a month or whatever, and I like it so much better. Life's so much better without it.
Yeah. I mean, like, truth be known, I mean, I don't like drama. I hate drama. But I can, because I'm quite vocal, if you like, and I have an opinion if someone asks me. I've always been one where people come to me and say, well, what do you think? I say, well, don't ask if you don't want the truth. And, you know, sometimes people don't quite like hearing what you're going to say.
Yeah, of course.
And that's the problem with, and I've had it, I wear it over the years with social media, and I think, what am I doing? I'm getting embroiled with some...
I've been drawn into it, yeah. And
I'm going, why am I doing this? I like to go on there if I can and try and inspire little posts and saying, you know, little pictures or little clippets and saying, look, this is what bodybuilding's about, and trying to, you know, try and G people up as opposed to pull them down. And otherwise, it's like, it's hard. It's bloody, you can find yourself.
I just stay out of it. I am on Instagram now, and I'm on Facebook as well. But
that's more for the...
Yeah, just more for to keep you. I'm a PT. Exactly. I need to keep out there and busy with what's going on.
With that. So, you know, when you was saying like about obviously the dips and all that, how did you first encounter? Because this is a really important issue that we have to sort of like help people with, I think. I mean, if you look at the current trend going on that issue, what was just saying there, what Jeremy Kyle was bloody going on about and this, that and the other. What when you started out, and I'm looking back when I first started out, when back then it was like, it was just, there was nothing, there was no internet. So when it comes to about drugs in sport, even the magazines didn't mention it. You know, like where now there's forums, you've got magazines like Muscular Development going into this and that and the other. There's more information than ever. And I'm not saying it's, I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing at times, because...
Yeah, I think too much information is getting a lot of people doing stuff they probably wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
Regarding steroids and stuff is what I
should be exactly, talking about. Steroids and
yeah, I still remember my first cycle was just a shot of sus every week, and then I got brave and did 2 shots of sus every week after however long, and for the first sort of 3-4 years until I met bodybuilders from other towns.
Yeah.
Well, I did the contest stuff, the propionate and the master run up to the show, because I didn't start until a year before I compete. When I decided I want to compete, I started when I was 21. But yeah, for a few years there, I was just doing a couple of shots of sus, and I was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I met some people from different cities just through bodybuilding stuff, and they're talking like 2 gram of this and 1 gram of that, and I'm like, that's like 8 shots.
Yeah.
Where are you going to put that?
Yeah, I get.
I think it's just it's worse. I mean, obviously, as you get bigger, you end up taking more and things like that, and you've been doing it longer. Well, I did. But it's still crazy, some of the things you see now.
But I'm hearing stories of these fitness, you know, the physique guys. One was taking something like 1,500 milligrams, 2,000 grams. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Enough muscle to put that into,
Why? What's going on? You know what I mean? It's like...
It's impatience. Social media's caused impatience, I think. Just because they see everybody else is getting on quicker, or so they appear on social media, so I think they're just up.
And do you think a lot of these so-called, I don't know, I'm not saying not gurus as such as that, but there were like people like these guys out there in America, one in particular, I'm not going to give his name out, he's plenty of mouth, doing all stupid stuff and saying these are what the pros do, and I'm like going, well, I know I didn't, and I know a lot of the guys I know that didn't do that.
Yeah, I think that people like that are just giving maybe like justification for people that want to do it anyway, sort of thing.
Sort of notoriety, but then they build a following and they make a lot of money from it.
Yeah, and then people maybe fall for it and start thinking, well, maybe that's what I need to do.
What would your advice be to someone in your, you know, like someone, because you must have people coming to you.
But to be honest, I don't know how much they listen anymore compared to the internet, to be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose having maybe just like a Mr. Universe title 10 years ago, you'd have got a totally different level of respect to what you do now. I don't think it means that much anymore. Why do you think that is? Because of social media.
Do you think
so much more out there?
Do you think more people are sort of like more in tune to sort of like look at these as the whole?
There's just so much different stuff to read that's seen as gospel because it's online. I mean, I'm not saying I'm extremely knowledgeable because I'm not, but you used to just listen to the biggest guy in the gym back when I started, and that's who you sort of wanted to speak to and get advices off. And if they'd won something like a local qualifier or something, then everybody knew who there was. And
it used to be based on attainment, didn't it? If people would look big and strong and they'd look the part and they'd achieve something.
Achievement, basically. That's what I always based my credibility on when I was looking at other people. Yeah. What have they achieved? Yeah. And I'd go from that. But that's changed.
Massively. You know, the social media aspect actually swung that round.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off.
No,
I watched Generation Iron 2. I don't know if you've seen that.
You know what? I watched the parts of the first one. The best bit was when Brown Swearing fell off the horse.
Yeah.
I still find that the best. I mean, it's so funny that. But they didn't. Well, I was talking to Neil Hill about this the other day. Funnily enough, I was catching up with Neil after that flex, and not spoke with Neil for ages. And I said it was the best documentary I'd seen apart from Pumping Iron. And, like Neil said that as well, and I agree, and we both agreed on that, because I found the Generation Irons...
Well, what I was going to say, what was interesting about Generation Iron 2 was they went into how there's social media popularity and then there's accomplishment popularity, and that is two totally different things. And it's the first time that I've ever actually really seen it spoken about. Right. And it was actually quite good, that Generation Iron 2. I was surprised. I put it on because I was bored and there was nothing on.
Is it worth watching?
I'd say so. Yeah, I actually enjoyed it compared to the first one. The first one I didn't enjoy that.
Yeah, no, I didn't think that.
Yeah,
so what did it? So what did Generation Iron was more about?
It was about that. It was about the difference between actual success and social media success, which I suppose is success nowadays because it's a real thing. And that there's people in the Olympia lineups that are not really even, people don't know the name, and then there's people who've never done a bodybuilding show and everybody does know the name. Well, and it's both is with their own merits.
Well, you got what is it, the Hodge twins or something, and you've got the. Yeah, they've got a massive following. Them. They went some people. Oh, they're at Body Power, and you look. Then you had the late Rich Piana.
Yeah,
he did one or two. He did one or two shows.
Yeah,
but beyond that, he decided boom, and then became this YouTube internet sensation.
Yeah, I mean, fair play if they're making money. It's up to them, whatever. But it just for me, I still don't look up to them people at all.
No,
it's
never.
All just achievement based.
Never. The ones who put the head above the parapet. And they'd be prepared to put themselves in front of the judges.
That's exactly
That's where the men belong for me. I'm sorry. I'm not knocking that. Some of them out there don't look great.
I agree.
But I mean, for me, that's where the ultimate test is. Have you got the character to get up there?
To be judged and
put yourself to be
really
it's
what separates those two demographics then? The people who respect the wins and the people who respect the people online. What's the deciding factor between those two different thought processes?
It's a good question, really. I think probably... Obviously, the younger people look up to more social media, but that's what they see as famous because that's what they're seeing all over the phones every day. Whereas maybe people in the older days, like from John a little bit before me and then my own, you just idolised the winners and that was it. Same as like with movie stars and things like that. You had to be able to act and sing to be top of the fame game, and now you don't have to do that neither.
So age is a main factor. The age of the person.
Probably, I'd say so. Yeah. There's still a few young kids around that respect achievements, I think, but definitely not as much.
Would you say education's a factor as well? Education in the foundings of bodybuilding and things like that.
No, I think it's just a cultural thing.
Yeah. I think that you've hit the nail on the head. Yeah, you're right. It's definitely cultural. Yeah. There's been a massive shift now. I mean, education. You can like you say, you can try and educate, but will you get past that cultural barrier now? That's like fomented itself.
It's what's deemed as cool.
Yeah,
basically.
This is it. And there's been a massive upsurge in the way in which people perceive fame and fortune, and how to obtain that. And so when I look at my daughter. My daughter's like got over 97,000 followers with her YouTube channel now. Do you know what I mean? And that's going some, and she can get more and more. She's got like more people when she goes online following thousands more, and I look at her and go, I'm not even in the back pot. It's just ridiculous. But that boom, she done that within God knows how many months.
There was a defining moment for me when I was at the Two Bro Pro show with you, John.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you picked up on this. There was a guy there, a young lad who'd just competed, just been on stage, and we interviewed him. Can't remember his name off the top of my head now, but it might come to me.
From Iceland?
No. He's from down south. Anyway, this lag's competed quite a few times. He's travelled all over the world. He's competed at the Ohio show.
Do you mean the black lad?
Yeah.
Who did physique? Great, lovely,
really
nice, nice physique
lad,
about him.
Really
nice muscle bellies.
I
think of his name.
Bear in mind, I'm coming from a background that isn't involved with bodybuilding, so I'm holding John up on this huge pedestal, which he should be on, mainly because he's short.
Because I was going to say, any minute now, yes, because he's short.
But I just assumed that everybody knows who this guy is. And he had no idea that this guy who's stood on the Olympia stage is stood interviewing him.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all.
So I said to him, just Google John Hodgson for me, because he had no idea. And he looked at the picture and he was like,
Holy.
wow. And then he was on about, I need you to come and be my trainer.
There was a couple of them like that. Yeah,
and it suddenly twigged that there's a generation of guys now coming out who don't look at the past and the history and those who have done well for themselves, and they don't seem to be learning from those people who've been through it.
No, it's because the way I always see it is like in them days that I was just talking about, like with actors and fame and stuff. If you want winning stuff, nobody knew your name anyway. It's only because it's out there on the internet now that people know the people's names.
You wouldn't even get listened to in the gym.
No, exactly.
Never mind on a world platform stage.
Yeah.
Social medias give a platform to some right idiots. And I mean that genuinely 100%. Not saying everyone's an idiot out there. There's a lot of good conversations and stuff like that. But
just thought of his name, Simply Jabres.
I thought you said Simply the Best.
Simply Jabres.
Simply Jabres.
Simply Jabres was his name.
That's what he's supposed to next time, doesn't he?
Simply Jabres.
Yeah, but that's what happens is with and this is what's happening out there, and you're getting these groups forming, and this is done, that's done, and then when you see them hitting the stage, you're going, that's not worked, has it?
Yeah,
I mean, Eddie Abu put a post up once. He was at Body Power, and this was a classic. And then Dorian walked past, and he started briefly talking to him, and the kid that came up to him went, and he said, "Oh, sorry about that." And the kid carried on talking. He went, "Oh, who's that? Is that someone I should know?" And Eddie went, "You know what? We'll call it a day, shall we?" He said, "If you don't know, if you're asking that," he said, "that says so everything there is that needs to be said. That it's so wrong."
Okay, we're well over an hour now. It's time for some questions from the social media crowd.
Ooh,
those people who've just been slagging off.
Yeah, no, we're not. We're not slagging them all off.
We are.
Yeah, we are. Go on, fuck off, leave us alone. No, no, we're not.
Okay, Shelley from Crew. Do you ever find it hard working with women, and are they easier to prep than men?
Yeah, I found it easier. So I got led in that direction I had a few bad experiences with men. Going back to ego, I think there's a bit of an ego clash a lot of the time, and you get more credit with women because they just pass on things through the hairdressers. General PT, do you know what I mean? As opposed to men like to tell people they did it themselves, like PT results. And I find them a lot easier to work with. They do as they're told more, and they work. I won't say they work harder, but overall they probably do, to be fair. And I sort of got led in that direction by accident. Some girl in the gym asked me to prep her for a show. As a first show, she did the qualifier and then won the British on her first ever run. So I thought, maybe I'm all right at this. So then I just got more, and then it sort of picked up.
Who was that
momentum from there? That was Rebecca Morn back in 2013.
Okay, right.
The Nabba. So that was the first one I did, and then just picked up from there, really.
You said more receptive.
Yeah, they just listen, and they just go, okay, and then they just go and do it, and then they come back and they've done it, and then you tell them to do something else, and they come back and they've done it again. It's as easy as that.
Yeah,
generally.
Yeah. Are you one of them that? I mean, when it comes to sort of like some might need that 24-hour, 24/7 babysitting stuff. Like
yeah, no, I don't do that. No,
that's all right. Both on the same page.
I think as long as you know where you stand from the off, it's all right.
That's the key, isn't it?
Yeah.
You never see it the other way around, do you? Or do you?
What?
Women training men.
Well, actually,
go on, enlighten me.
You do see some, but it's more. Yeah, but it's more in the
you do well.
The fitness.
Do you remember the
gyms.
Sybil, the one who was helping prep
true,
up?
Yeah.
Forgot to got a message.
All right.
She wants to come on.
Really?
Mm.
All right, that's nice.
And she was prepping Rolly Winkler and something else, but there was some legal wranglings going on behind the scenes by all accounts.
Okay.
But Sybil's coming over. I got a message, and I meant to actually have a chat with you just before we started.
She was over last year, I think. She did come to Cooper's gym in Rotherham.
She was actually one of the women who she's prepping quite a few people. She's from Germany or
Holland. She's Dutch, isn't she?
Dutch. Yes. Sorry about that. Yeah, but yeah. So
we'll have to schedule her in.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. Eric from Salisbury. What have you learned to avoid injuries in the gym? And do you apply this in your coaching?
Yeah, I apply a lot of it in my coaching, especially seeing people moving with bad technique and bad range of motion and things like that, and make sure they always get good physio treatment to sort it out. Spend a lot of time on foam rollers, and like the range of motion is obviously a massive thing, and that's something that I never took any care of whatsoever. I never did any foam rolling or stretching, and I think that's what probably led me to get. I mean, they weren't my only injuries. I've had other things as well, but if I could go back and change one thing, it would be that, looking after myself a lot better from day one.
I've got to concur with that. I was terrible for stretching and stuff like that. And
it just wasn't really a thing.
The tightening in the shoulders. Oh.
First time a physio showed me a foam roller, I was like, they're for girls? Or like whatever in the gym, and he was like, just lay on it. Yeah, they're not for girls.
They're not. Is that the one where they got the edges in it?
Yeah. Across the
balls,
IT band,
tennis balls and that.
Yeah, I spend a lot of my time doing that now, like mobility stuff and things like that, and it's keeping me really well, to be fair, and I just try my best to make sure all the clients are doing the same thing. They don't listen, but they always learn the hard way.
Do you do anything like Pilates and yoga or anything?
I did do Pilates, actually, for about a year or 18 months. Isn't it? Yeah, it was frigging harder than I thought it was, especially at 19, 20 odd stone, whatever I was when I was doing it. Yeah. And she's got seat belts wrapped around my legs and that, trying to just stretch me even further out and what have you. Something like stone yoga teacher. And it paid a lot of dividends, actually. It really, really helped.
Wow.
I think it created a lot more sort of mind to body connection when I was trying to get under squats and things like that than I had previously anyway.
Does that sort of brutal intensity you're always talking about, John, need to be matched with that sort of softer approach as well to ensure that the muscles engaging correctly? And
I would say so, even though I'll hold my hands up, there wasn't quite that with me. It would make sense to actually, when you're asking so much from the body, and especially like the muscles themselves, you've also got to have the tender side, like to help. Because again, a lot of the guys these days, especially in America, you see them having these real deep tissue massage. Most people couldn't afford like three or four sessions a week at 40, 50 quid a time.
The rollers and that come in.
And that's where, like you say, so the rollers will be your own form of deep tissue, because it's body weight basically on it. And it's really...
Well, that wasn't much of a thing 10, 15 years ago, was it? Nobody really... Every training, fitness guy, bodybuilding now, see comes in the gym, they've got a foam roller under their arm. Yeah. Or a peanut ball or whatever to help themselves. That wasn't really a thing that anybody talked about or did. So, and so it's basically, it's sort of like it's pushing through, and it's actually helping push through the free radicals and the waste matter and yeah, definitely,
and that's like making the muscle more pliable, if you like. But would you say the stretching's more, because this was a debate, rather before or after?
It depends what's tight, I suppose. I mean, if you've got something that keeps tightening up, like you're about to train legs and you've got tight hip flexors, and you're going to need to be able to move, then you better loosen them off. But yeah, probably after, to be fair, if you've got nothing
probably
wrong.
Do a bit of like cycling first, just to get the legs moving,
a
then
bit of light stretching and get
that.
everything moving, but not like deep, intense stretching, and save that for afterwards or even at home.
Because obviously the blood flow's been circulating a bit more then, hasn't it?
Yeah. And if you're over flexible, you're more likely to get injured, I think, as well. I think that's why they say not to do that.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Eric, I hope that answers your question. Then we've got Rick from Renfrewshire. Is that Glasgow way?
Renfrewshire.
Sure,
that's Scotland.
No,
Renfrewshire. Yeah. Rosie talked about gut health last week on the last show.
Next question.
Sorry. Have you had any trouble with your gut?
And I haven't.
Have you ever tried
I haven't actually, but sorry.
And have you ever tried intermittent fasting?
No, I've never tried intermittent fasting, and I've never looked massively into gut health. But when I saw that with Rosie last week, it did get me thinking a little bit, because I found myself relating to a lot of the things Rosie was saying, as opposed... I mean, I've not had any problems, but when she's saying you've been pounding it for years, year after year, diet, blow up, eat, binge, what have you... And I don't think I'm a similar-ish age to Rosie, I'm not sure. I think we've been going about the same amount of time. And I could sort of recognise a lot in what she was saying. And it is something I am actually going to look into in the future, just to make sure that everything...
I would say it's probably one of the most important areas to look at.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you look at...
We had a massive influx of people commenting on that.
Yeah, I bet.
Well, they do say your health, everything stems from the gut.
Yeah.
And a lot of ailments
Yeah, she's
You
right.
know,
The more you read
know,
into it, the
yeah.
more you think, Jesus Christ.
Because once that's out of whack, because if you look at it, if you're one of the common things is if you got you get an illness, whatever, and you need to go on antibiotics to fight a bacterial infection. One thing that gets absolutely whacked and destroyed is your intestinal flora, and you're talking there's billions and billions and billions of them. You know, and once that goes out, and that's why they say on the package, you know, or you might cause stomach upset, diarrhea, and so forth, and that's why it's really important. So, things like eating the, the natural yogurts that are high in them, things like Yakult. But what Rosie was attesting to was actually a more, where there's a variety of strains going in. So, obviously, looking out and taking, a good probiotic and a prebiotic combination.
I don't take the supplements.
Yeah, I think it's worthwhile doing. I've not done it myself for a while, but in all fairness,
they do make you feel better.
Yeah, I think. Would. Yeah, so you recommend it?
Yeah,
do you do it with your clients and that?
Yeah, they're on the sheets. And
is there a particular make that you actually go with, or
only CMP, of course?
Is it? Did he actually do the specific? Because obviously I used to work for CMP. Don't forget that was over. I left 10 years ago, but did he do a specific probiotic? Or did he just have it in the powder still?
It's in a capsule.
Oh, he's got it in a capsule as well now. Right,
it's a
okay.
capsule.
Interesting. Didn't know that.
Well, that concludes the questions, guys.
Well,
please continue.
Carry on, as we were. So, where we were was basically with regards to, from the anabolic issue, when people come to you and especially get the young generation and that, what's your advice you would say to people? Because everyone, we live in a world of craziness, and I would say more impatient.
Yeah, impatient. Yeah, definitely. That would exactly be my advice. Just start small and just get everything you can out of what you're doing, and then if it's time to move on, it's time to move on. Just take it careful. How
long would you say then for someone who someone comes up to you for the first time and they're getting into the game? You must have looked at some people and think, I'm looking at people half the time who were using stuff. I'm going, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
What? You don't look as though you've used anything.
I know, and I don't know if that's like sometimes a genetic thing, and they're just not really the type of people that should be doing it. I know that sounds disrespectful.
Or do you think they don't train? And when you see them
they
train,
don't train
you
and
go,
eat properly, more likely. And just I think if you're a responder, you're going to respond to little bits, and you're going to get good things from it, anyways. Which I always was in hindsight. I didn't realize at the time, but in hindsight, I was. But you just got to be careful and look after yourself. Because it is life after bodybuilding. As I'm starting to see now,
but you don't see that. When I remember when I was when I was at the beginning, and I actually remember making this comment, and this is God, and I've heard this comment made, and I was like in my early 20s, winning my first shows, and I said, doesn't matter as long as if I die, that coffin will be massive. And I can't believe I did say that word, and I'm not the only one who said it. And do you know what? I cringe. I'm being honest. Totally honest. That's what I did say them words, and I just went. I look back and go, "What on God's green earth was going through your mind?" But that's the bravado and the ego, and that's at that level. You think you're so indestructible.
In youth, you just don't care.
You think you're indestructible, and you know better.
It's only since I think I've turned 30 that I realise I'm going to die one day.
Well, in your
20s,
but you don't see it like that. I'm like I say, coming up 15, and you know what? There are a lot of things I'm out to attain, but with the attitude of, I've got to die one day, got to go out there trying, you know what I mean? But not, you don't go out with this stupid attitude of, tomorrow. Tomorrow, you know what I mean? It's, I must admit that it's one of the fatal lines. Well, it's a line that I'm not proud of saying.
I've said it. I think probably every bodybuilder's said it, to be fair. It's not a thing.
You're getting that away, and all that, So what interest do you actually have then outside of the bodybuilding? Because we try and say to people, and like I said throughout my career, I didn't quite have the balance right when I was fully focused. And
neither have I through my 20s. To be fair, it was just bodybuilding.
And you was talking about it when you weren't there, and you was with crowds, and
my missus still says it to me like that, and I watch it on YouTube and what have you, and everything like that, and blah blah blah. But just socialising mainly, and family things like that. Spend a lot more time with my parents and stuff now. And my brother's got a kid. Spend time with them and the missus and a couple of dogs, and we go out places and stuff. So no specific hobbies, but just being more social than when I'm in and out competing all the time. I'm not saying you can't do it when you're competing, but you just don't.
Yeah, do you think that's because you're so immersed on the goal and energy levels are so low at
Probably,
that,
and you just can't be bothered so much with that stuff. I have got better at it as time's gone on. God, the first few shows I did when I was early 20s, I was either at work, at the gym, or in my bedroom, and that was it, reading Flex magazine or whatever. And I think the more prep you do, the more you get used to mingling into normal life. But I was similar to you with that sort of hardcore. I have to be hardcore attitude, do or die sort of thing.
So what about sports? Do you follow any other sports? Do you like what? Do you not?
No, I don't watch rugby, don't watch football, nothing. No.
Nothing?
No, my dad does. My dad and my brother are at the rugby all the time and stuff. And
right, okay.
I was training legs on a Friday night when the rugby was on or whatever, so I was never going to rugby. It's just one of them, do you know what I mean?
What about films, books?
Cinemas. We go to cinemas all the time. We've got Cineworld cards, so we're there twice a week watching whatever, Peter Rabbit, like it was the other day.
There you go, a Cineworld card member, eh? So you can go as often as you want, can't you?
Yeah, and they've just built a Nando's next door, so I'm living the dream now.
You're living the dream. You're a Nando's man. Nando's, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what I mean, looking at films, I mean, it's nice because obviously you've got to look at the whole picture behind the man. You know, these bodybuilding. That. What kind of films are you actually into?
Anything. I watch anything.
Seriously.
Like I said, we was there the other day watching Peter Rabbit, and there was just me and our lass and then loads of children in there.
No way, you're joking. Can you imagine that?
Couldn't care less. I loved it. Go on, Peter,
was
go.
It good?
Yeah, it was good, yeah. And then we was watching Tomb Raider the week before or whatever, and we just
that's
watched
a remake, isn't it? From
I can't remember the original.
I think the original was Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, I can't remember the original actually, but it was good.
Was it good? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what's your favourite film then?
Oh, I have a Pulp Fiction or Deadpool, one of the two.
Oh,
yeah, it was.
Oh,
I think it was on
you
TV
only watched it last week, yeah.
Well, it's just come on Netflix, I think, hasn't it? Yeah, we put it on last week.
Pulp Fiction was a classic.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction's good. Or Goodfellas, I like that as well.
Yeah, Goodfellas. I'm into that.
Deadpool just cracks me up.
Have you got a warped sense of humour, would you say?
I
think you got to have to go to like Deadpool, aren't you sure?
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah. I don't know, I just laugh at everything.
You just laugh at anything. Well, I'm trying to think of the one that have you ever seen that film, Sausage Party?
Yeah, we was on about that yesterday.
Oh my God, my daughter ran me up, no word of a lie. She saw it before me. She went, Dad, I've just seen that Sausage Party. She went, my mind is never going to be the same again. No. I said, what? She went, it's the ending. I said, oh, behave. I said, it can't be that. Dad, you have no idea. And I'm giving it, stop being a drama
queen. That was one of the best
She went,
experiences.
No. I watched
Eat
it.
some space cakes before the next time you and go into the cinema.
Seriously, you didn't? Did you eat space cakes?
I was waiting for weeks. I couldn't wait.
That's brilliant. Oh, I've got to try that one then.
Yeah, do
that ending, I was like, you've got to.
Yeah, just when you thought you got out of it alive, you didn't.
Like, this is just not going. And I'm thinking, no wonder my daughter was going. My mind's never going to be the same, Dad.
Classic. Do you listen to music, Dan?
Yeah, I'm not particularly into any bands or anything like that. I like sort of early 2000s, late 90s gangster rap and things like that. I think I've got rhythm in my soul as opposed to trance music and stuff. I don't really like that.
What about when you're training? Is there a specific sort of like genre?
I'm more a bit like rock. Is it metal music or like AC/DC and stuff like that? Yeah, I prefer that when I'm training, or some like real aggressive gangster rap, I suppose. Yeah, but yeah.
Just a quick shout out to our resident band Synagogue.
I thought I was going to give a shout out to Tupac.
Pouring
a glass.
Synagogue, all our videos, we use their music.
Oh, right, okay.
They're good enough to let us use their music.
Brilliant.
I'll send you an album, Dan.
Thank you very much.
I've got a copy for you.
It's quite grungy, isn't it?
Well, it's worth a listen to. Yeah, it's brilliant. It's good for training.
Well, I find that, because I mean, sometimes I'm in the gym and, you know, they have it on the radio station. And I'm giving it, and I turn out and I said, no wonder you lot don't get, you know, you're not training aggressively in that. I said, you're listening to all this bloody arty farty crap music. I mean,
I was in the gym the other day and they had Spice Girls on in the gym that I was on.
It's just all sorts, you know. But this modern stuff, you need something that gets right in and gets you.
Yeah.
Well, you call me an angry man, but you want to get a bit angry, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. I've just started training at a different gym actually, because I work at the gym and I'm in there all day. This is the reason why I had some time off training.
Right.
Because I was doing 7-8 clients back to back.
Wow.
Eating my porridge and then trying to walk back in the gym and train. I was wondering why I didn't want to train. I couldn't work it out. I thought I was done, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then after like a few weeks off, I started thinking, no, I do need to train. I just don't want to train there. So I've joined another gym about half an hour away.
Yeah, break.
Yeah, and then I'm out of work. I don't know anybody there either, which is great. Apart from the owners, obviously. And I just go in and train and then leave, and it's a lot better now.
So is because Paul, you know Paul Locke?
Yeah, it was his gym actually. The
Was
gym I'm
it?
training now, yeah, it was his
So
gym.
he doesn't own that gym anymore.
Oh.
Oh, right, because I remember Paul lot from when I was at CMP, and he used to come and see us. And
Yeah, well, that's in Beverley. That's just outside Hull. So, but I live on the north of Hull. It's not too far from there. It's only about 15 minutes.
So what he sold? He sold the gym, did he?
Yeah, a few years ago. I think I don't know the exact story to
Right.
comment, but
Okay.
it went to somebody else, and then they had it for maybe a couple of years. I'm not sure. And then 2 young lads have got it now.
Right. No, I never knew
Name
that.
of the gym?
That's called Bodyflex.
Bodyflex.
Yeah.
The gym that you work at?
No, I work out a workout gym.
Workout gym.
That's the best gym.
That's the best gym.
No, it is, and that's why I
Is
moved
it?
there. I always said I'd never train at work, but everything's Cybex,
And who
Hammer
owns that?
Strength, Precore, Tony Lawson, Big Tony, Megatone, and that's where I work out of. So I was gutted to not be
I
training.
thought you got to say Megatron then.
Yeah,
Megatron.
Megatone. So that's why I started training there
Right.
initially, just because of the kit. Because I trained at another gym across town, and then I moved there, and then
But isn't it? I
I
mean,
just want to get away from everybody that I know, to be honest. That's the reason why I didn't go back to my old gym, Bodyweld, where I did train for quite a lot of years. I just wanted to get away from everybody. And just go
when it
train.
comes to equipment, how important do you put that in a list of criteria?
It's not everything, but it does help. I can't.
You see, I just think it's I just think it's an essential part for me. I remember Dorian saying, "Look, the equipment, my gym is old, or when he had the old temple, he said it's not pretty next, but every bit of equipment in there, there's a bit of hammer strength, a bit of the old Nautilus." He said, but everything works exactly how it should. So it's not actually.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just thought you meant compared to atmosphere.
No, I mean as in, no atmosphere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that carries quite a lot of weight for me, the atmosphere in the gym.
yeah, for me, definitely.
Do you prefer dark and dingy? Hardcore?
No, not necessarily. I used to and think that was the hardcore sort of environment, but no, it doesn't need to be like that anymore. I don't think there's a lot of modern hardcore gyms now around, as opposed to it used to be either the fitness centre or the Spit and Sawdust gym. It was one or the two. There's a lot of gyms that have sort of met middle criteria now, where they're not a fitness centre and they're pretty hardcore with the music, and there's some lads in there proper training,
Yeah.
So that's a lot better for us now than I suppose it was 20 years ago, and you pretty much one or the other back then, I think.
I suppose as well, even though it wasn't quite, especially when I was dieting, but it's being able to have a bit of, having a good bit of banter going on,
Yeah.
but knowing when to flick the switch.
Yeah.
I think
agree.
that's one thing I've learnt looking back.
Dan likes the banter.
Yeah, he likes the banter, and then
Like a bit
pouring
of
out a
banter.
whiskey. All right, I'm ready for the next set. Yeah, no,
We had a few exchanges about which picture to use in his poster,
Really, did you?
Yeah, sent him one from Saturday night. They sent me a selfie and we'll put it on the poster. Yeah.
So what about from your posing type of thing? Was it something that you practiced a lot of? Was you or did you sort of like just wing it?
Yeah, I practiced posing a lot. It was Dave Titson who taught me to pose
Big
originally. Yeah, Danny, the big guy from the gym I told you, he taught me initially, and then I spent a lot of time with Dave Titson learning to pose. He was a very good poser, as you know. And then just sort of, I think once you've got it, you got to still practice it. That was the funny thing leading up to that universe when I had injured shoulders. They were that bad I couldn't hit my shots.
Well, did you find, was it doing a lat spread was a killer?
Lat spread was bad, so I had to roll my wrists under like that because I couldn't get the full spread. Anything above my head, I didn't do that until the day of the show. I bit on my lip, the rear double bicep, that was the worst one. I bit my lip to pieces hitting that.
That bad?
On the show day. So yeah, but every other prep I'm always practicing posing. Yeah, you need to.
Do you do that in your with the preps? Do you do that as a separate thing or part of the? Does that come part of the package?
Yeah, our last runs the posing side of things. She's competed a few times
Okay.
in that, and she's pretty good at it. Or failing that, there's a couple of girls that help us out as well from different cities. So a lot of girls travel from as far as Dudley and Coventry, which is like 2-3 hours away from us, to see us every week. So it depends on what area they're in to other users.
And do you get involved? Because obviously with the PCA, they do these posing sort of like...
Yeah, I run one yesterday, actually. I run a posing
one?
seminar yesterday in Hull for the PCA. And there was a fair few turn up. We had to cancel it last week because of the weather. I had to pull it in the morning because it snowed.
It got that bad.
Yeah, and I didn't really want to risk anybody travelling over and what have you in the snow. It's not worth it. So it got postponed to this week. Yeah, we had a good time yesterday. Andy Pickering did the bodybuilding.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
Eddie Chip done the men's physique. The guy from the PCA. Then Michaela McDonald and Helen Peebles done the bikinis and figure for us. And I just sort of ran between the four, trying to make sure everything was all right and make sure everybody was there. It was good. It's good for the competitors. It's all free.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's... And
it was all for
so
nothing.
So there's no excuse for them not to get sort of like a little bit of something in it.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
return that.
Yeah, I think they all took something from it. It was a pretty productive
how many
day,
people?
really.
How many people were there, roughly?
Probably about 70, I think.
Yeah, it's a fair turn. And that was a mixture of men and women?
Yeah. There was in and out all day, so there was different people coming in at different allotted times.
Right, so was that like... based on the categories of
I had 3 studios because I used Total Fitness Gym because they've got 3 studios in there. So I used the 3 studios and just was going all day between intermediates and beginners and what have you, and bodybuilding and men's physique. It went off all right.
So I mean, that's with the PCA. But so I'm going to ask you now then. So did you ever?
Smiling? Was he smiling?
Did you ever? Because I always get been asked this question so many times.
Go on.
Why don't you become a judge, John? Please, I mean, I've been asked by quite a few people and federations, and I'm like, I just can't. I mean, is it something that you?
It's something that I'm a judge with the PCA.
Yeah, I know you do, but I mean, was it something you foreseen yourself doing? Did you?
No, I didn't really cross my mind. I didn't really think nothing about it. I can't remember where I first judged. I jumped into somebody's show that had an independent show. I think
I've judged some shows. Sorry, by the way,
it was
an independent. And it's not, but my heart and soul goes out to anybody who puts themselves forward to be a judge.
Yeah, because you don't
get... It's a thankless task.
It is a thankless task, you just get peppered.
You do. So what made you put yourself in that position?
I have no idea. Why do we do anything? Good question, I don't know.
Yeah. Why do we do anything?
I do quite enjoy it, though. And I've learned quite a lot from being on stage, just by judging a lot, to be fair. And that does help with my PT, with the people competing as well, and myself. I didn't realise what it'd be like from the judges' table to watch the competitors and the things they do and the way they move and the way they present themselves and what actually matters to the judge when you're judging. It's totally different from sat in the crowd, in my opinion, anyway. And I think I picked up quite a lot from that.
Is there because I remember when I was competing in the IFBB as a professional, there was a clear and concise mandate for the bodybuilding anyway. And I think they were with other classes, but I was obviously looking at that. And it would be concise with regards to that pose, this pose, that pose, how to stand. Is that laid out? Is there a mandate like that laid out?
Yeah, it's with us all the time anyway, but the athletes can view it online now, so there's a big thing
that's what
online.
I mean. So there's no excuse, is there, for any of the athletes then if they're going to compete with the PCA?
It couldn't be any more out there for them at the minute. It definitely couldn't be. There's free posing seminars. All the information's online for the posing
just
and the criteria.
over the weekend, haven't you?
That's what we just said. Yeah, just
mentioned
yesterday. That. Yeah, said about 70 people had turned up and that.
Weren't listening.
Ah, you see, it was in Dreamland, weren't you?
Like
that in the corner.
Yeah, so there's everything for them there. We try and help as much as possible.
Yeah. And so, what's going to be the PCA? Are they going to be running their own professional division? I did see that there was going to be what they call the World Championships.
Yeah, that's coming up in October. The World Championships. That's going to be the first one.
Where's that going to be held?
I think it's Birmingham. Ryan's announced it a couple of weeks ago. I'm sure it's Birmingham.
Yeah, I know. I've seen something. I couldn't remember what it was.
And that's a lot of the different countries because over the last, say, 2 years, since 16 and 17, and now it's 18. They have set up in a lot of countries, Holland and Australia and America.
They're doing that alongside Body Power though, because they were doing the Body Power Super Series, weren't they?
Yeah, I think it's Body Power involved. I'm not too certain. The Body Power Super Series, it's a bit confusing for me. Best off asking Ryan.
Because you went Kuwait. Yeah,
I went to Kuwait actually. Yeah, that was an experience.
Right. Okay. That'll be for Ryan, won't it?
Yeah, that'll be for when Ryan, you're coming on.
Ryan.
Well, we did ask him on. He's busy.
He's busy at the moment with the Saxon show. So I said, listen, well, I'll line you up to come on anyway. So Ryan's definitely going to come on anyway.
Yeah,
tell us about the Kuwait experience.
Yeah. Because it's massive out there, isn't it? Bodybuilding, it's took off, hasn't it, in the Middle East?
Yeah. I trained at Oxygen Gym as well. That was good.
What's that? That's huge. It's supposed to be huge, isn't it?
Yeah, it is huge. Yeah. No music though.
Give over.
No music. You know when you see them all and they've got the big headphones on?
Yeah.
I thought, and that's because there's no music. All you can hear is clanking.
Is that because is that a to do with religious
I assumed
thing,
so.
Or?
Yeah, I assumed that was maybe the why. I don't really know.
I'd have gone, yeah, sling that on. What is it, Rammstein?
Yeah, I know. I it was just silent, but it was massive. I think I counted something like 30 Stairmasters in the
30 Stairmasters.
In the cardio.
So how many treadmills did they have?
There was a full room bigger than a normal size gym just for the cardio.
But they spent 5 million, God knows how much on it.
Yeah.
Something.
I think it was
10
over
million.
3 floors or 4 floors, and then there's like a chest and a back area on one floor, then like legs and cardio on another, and then it was all spread out.
So
like
it's one of the guys out
up in the lift.
It's an elevator.
Yeah, you get a lift.
It's got to be someone who's got the oil rich out there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Is it Badder or
Badder?
or
Yeah,
whatever,
by all accounts. At least out there they just set up this. And I mean, did he actually? I don't know. Did you see it? Did he look at all the guys who go there? They have the meals prepped for them. Do that? Did you see any of that?
We didn't see any of them guys when we was there. I think there was all. When did we go? Was it September? It might have been across near the Olympia time, maybe. Or something. I think there was all out
over
doing
in
that,
Vegas,
whatever, or something like that. There was none of them there. I think I remember at that time, anyways. But yeah, they're good, like, over there.
Yeah.
But there was no real other bodybuilders walking about. It must be just them that in there. Everyone else looked pretty normal in the gym.
Wow, that'd be an interesting to go to.
I might be wrong. Just when we was in the gym, that's what I saw.
Yeah. So now, how long did you spend out there?
3 days, 4 days, I think. It was an hectic journey, to be fair. I was wrecked when we got back, yeah.
Because it was non-stop.
Yeah, it was like 7-hour flight, and then we didn't really get much sleep from that night, and I was judging from like 9 in the morning till 10 at night or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, with a break in between, and then was straight off to bed and then off again the next morning. It was pretty hectic.
So you judged just the one day though?
It was just a one day show. Yeah.
Oh, my hell!
There was some funny classes as well, like with jeans on and stuff. It's like
really?
Yeah, there's a bit of some
jeans.
Yeah, there was some different like classes that the Commitee people threw in there and stuff. But overall, the bodybuilding was like.
And what
really
was the
good.
crowd like? How was it? A big turnout, attendance?
Yeah, it was decent. Yeah, it was decent. It was just a surreal experience, with all the sort of white clothing and stuff.
Yeah,
like
when they have,
everybody had that on.
Yeah.
And it was
what does he call it now?
I don't know. I
didn't
dare say.
The robes, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I can't think of the name
I know
for
what
it,
you mean.
so I didn't want to.
No.
But yeah, it was, and they were loud, and they loved the bodybuilders. I know that much. But yeah, there was.
And it's really weird, isn't it? And a sport like that where men are revealing themselves and that, was there any women?
No.
I was gonna say they couldn't have been any. Well,
No.
I'm not saying they couldn't, but I've been. Where the women classes were, so strictly not.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, very strict in that respect.
Yeah, we had a woman with us actually that was judging, and they didn't seem to take her. I don't know. They didn't seem to treat us quite as equal.
Right, I'm with you. So it's a bit different.
It's just the way it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Of course, it is. It's like you say, you go to various countries and you've got to respect whether you agree
just
with
go
it.
with the flow, don't you?
That's what it is.
I had a question sent in earlier on from a guy called Steve Johnson. Do you know him? Says, could you ask him how he manages to keep so lean off season?
That's from Steve Johnson.
Yeah.
Is that?
I think he's mocking me.
I think
he did say it.
Yeah, Steve's one of my mates.
He says it as a joke. But in a more serious note, I'll be very interested to get his take on the UK bodybuilding scene, and if he thinks we're stronger as a sport with new feds rising, or do you think it's more diluted?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. So is it better, or is it more diluted, or a bit of both?
Yeah,
maybe both. Yeah.
I think that was one question was going to lead to was how do you see the bodybuilding going? Do you see it getting bigger, stronger?
Yeah, I think it'll probably drop back down.
Just pull your mic in, Dan.
Sorry. I think it'll probably drop back down again. I don't know, maybe about 5 years' time or something like that, because it's riding a wave at the minute, and that I don't think that'll continue forever. Like the thing with the MMA, like 10 years ago, that was like a massive cult thing, and then it sort of died off. But yeah, it's hard to predict, really. I would think, there's a lot of federations in the UK at the minute, as opposed to just the two like they used to be, and you think maybe the strongest will survive and the others will sort of maybe dwindle.
You've got the big three, haven't you? You've got what used to be the UK BFF, Nabba and PCA, but also the 2 Bro Pro now, which is the one offering all the pro cards.
It is, yeah, and there's the IBFA that are they take a lot of competitors still, even though they're not as sort of popular, I suppose, in certain ways. They're still taking up a lot of competitors. So there's a lot of people competing. So I suppose as the numbers dwindle, the federations will die down, on whoever's still sat there will still be sat. Yeah,
is that how you see it?
Yeah. Not in a negative way. I think that's how it'll play out. Yeah. It's a shame to see the way bodybuilding's going. And I think people are saying there's less bodybuilders than there used to be, but I don't think there is. I think there's just more stages. So like when we used to pal into the local qualifier to get to your final.
Yeah.
That was you do or done for the year. Do
Well,
you know
it
what I
only
mean?
used to be the Nabba and UKBFF, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah.
They were your big two.
And at the Nabba,
Anything else was just sort of like.
and at the Nabba, you could only do your area show.
Yeah.
So if you didn't make the flight, you weren't going to.
Yeah. If you didn't make the. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you didn't qualify in your
Yeah.
your district, that was
You'd
it.
go home, eat a pizza, punch the
Yeah.
wardrobe door, and then carry on for the next year. And that's
No, it's true, wasn't it? Yeah. It's true.
that's literally what
Yeah. Whereas
people did.
with the Two Bro Pro Show, which we covered, their shows wherever they are open to anybody and everybody wherever you are in the world.
Yeah,
You
it'll
couldn't be so
interesting to
far apart. From,
Interesting to see how that evolves. It's a different setup.
it
to
is a
normal,
totally
innit?
different setup. It is a different setup altogether. So we experienced that. It's quite be interesting. But as I say, they didn't expect too much at the off, and that's what Bob Ciccarello did say at the time. So whether the predictions will be different come the
Time will see. I suppose.
Exactly.
Time will
I
see.
think they're doing it in Coventry next time, which is in
yeah,
June.
yeah. You can't keep everything in the south because it's Northerners won't go down. Will
It's
they?
not even that. It's a nightmare to navigate London. Crikey,
Yeah,
Charlie.
I hate
Everything's
London.
dead expensive, and to get around about it's
Yeah.
just
Especially when John's on the sat nav. I mean, I was driving. Left it. No, right.
no. Yeah, we got there quite well, didn't we?
Yeah,
we
we
did
did,
all
we
right
did all
actually.
right, yeah.
We did
We
all
did
right
all right.
considering it was quite straightforward. So I mean, so with what's the next then with the PCA for you? You're doing the Saxon show.
Yeah, I'll be at the Saxon show. Judging that, we'll get kicked off there, and then there's quite a lot of shows. 2 minutes.
How many shows have you got this year?
About
Approximately.
Is it about 15? I
15?
think. They'd have to look at the calendar. There's quite a lot. Yeah,
Wow.
I know. There's mine. Mine's 2 weeks after the Saxon on
Yep.
the 29th of April. That's in Hull. And there's the Scotland. And there's even one in Gibraltar just after mine. I think.
Right.
We'll set one up on there.
Okay.
I suppose.
That's an interesting one. Who came up with that one?
Guy called Eddie Eddie Freeman, who runs the Hampshire show from down south.
Oh, right.
I think
Yeah.
he's putting it on. I just thought it'd be a good idea to try out. I think, and people can have an holiday afterwards, I suppose, and see how receptive people
I
are.
remember I used to visit Gibraltar quite a lot when I used to live out in Spain in the Costa del Sol.
Yeah, I think it's looking quite popular.
Right.
Mm.
That's an interesting
So-
one. So is it going to be? So is it? Are they doing any international shows? The PCA though.
Yeah,
Because I know Ian Harrison's.
Yeah, he's doing the American side,
He's looking
yeah.
after the American side.
yeah. So I think Ryan's just sort of hooked up with the people in those countries to set up from their country. I think, and then that's going to feed over to the finals and stuff over here,
Radio.
and they can set up within themselves now. However many shows they've got. I think there's 6 in Australia. I might be totally wrong.
Right.
I'm sure there was 6 when they were setting up. That's what they were saying to me. So, America, you can imagine. Excuse me. America, you can imagine there's going to be a few if they get rolling as
Yeah,
well.
if they
Yeah, I
get
don't know
rolling.
what the scene's like over there. I don't know, but there's one in Holland this year as well. I think Ryan's running that one. So yeah, it takes time to evolve, I suppose, but it's all heading in the right direction.
Moved quite quickly though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it has. Yeah,
From what was it? Nearly 2 years old. 2 years now.
yeah.
Just 2 years.
Sort of the first show was the very end of 2015. I think that was actually federated
Yeah.
with the PCA in Birmingham. So yeah, Ryan's a real hard worker, and Warren as well, and they push forward a lot to get where they've got
Yeah.
to.
Seemed very impassioned in the love bodybuilding.
Oh yeah, it's all for the bodybuilders. It
Yeah.
really is. It really is for the bodybuilders, and trying to give some money back and stuff as well.
And I suppose using the modern day, as we've been talking about social media, like it or not, that's where
it's worked,
you've
yeah.
got to use
Yeah.
the tools at hand that are going to help generate
Yeah,
advertising and revenue, isn't it?
yeah.
Really.
To try and give back. That's the only place you're going to get it from.
Yeah.
So then it's working so far as we know.
So what about yourself? So what's going to happen then for you next then, competing wise? I mean, obviously,
As soon as
you
I've
know,
got
your
a green
time
light,
out.
yeah.
you've
As soon
got-
as I've got a green light, I'll get back to some training. And then I'll start looking at shows for after if we have a kid, which is
Yeah.
what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Or will be doing, and go from there. I suppose playing by ear is probably the best answer I can give.
Yeah.
It really is playing by ear.
the main priority at the moment is, like, say, you're trying for little one.
Yeah. And if
Um,
if that's more important than bodybuilding, then so be it.
Well, fingers crossed it will be.
I think
very
there's
soon.
I think there's a little bit more left in me yet. The bodybuilder never dies.
I was wondering. I was thinking, which one's the other about? Yeah. Well, listen, Dan. It's been a pleasure having you on.
Thank you very much. I
think
appreciate
we've
it.
pretty much covered quite a lot of things.
Yeah, we
haven't
have.
we?
Yeah.
You know, we have one more thing to do. We like you to sign the table, and you can either have a blue or a black pen.
Yeah, blue one, please.
Ooh. There we are, sir.
You can move that microphone out the way, mate. And
Is
you
it
can,
not stuck?
No, you can move it wherever you like.
And anywhere you want. You can go anywhere you want.
I thought something motivational to write. Train hard or go home. Don't stare John in the eye.
Is it that bad?
Don't stare John in the eye.
Do or die. Whilst Dan's having a think. A couple of things lined up in the next couple of weeks, John. We've got the Nabba promo day down at the NAPA gym.
Yes.
That's on the 14th and 15th of April.
Yes, it is. Yeah, Saturday and
Saturday
Sunday
and
the weekend.
Sunday.
Yep.
So any Nabba competitors, in fact, any competitors, if you want to come down, train at the gym, have some photographs and videos taken, we'll be using those for the promo of the shows throughout the year.
Yep.
I think it's actually going to be the first one that's been done. So,
Yeah, I think it is, isn't it?
It'll be interesting. You know, the gym will be full, and we'll have.
If the weather's nice, there'll be probably a bit of barbecue going on. I take it.
John's in charge of the barbecue. He likes a little sausage.
Good handling.
What have you written there, Dan? So,
Train hard, win easy.
good man. Good man.
All done.
So that's in the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
Anybody can come down. We're inviting brands down as well to obviously promote themselves if they're involved in any way, shape or form with the Nabba shows.
Yeah.
Have you heard about that one, Dan?
What's that, sorry? I was thinking of motivational quotes, I lost.
Nabba promo day on the 14th and 15th of April.
Yeah, I've seen it online, yeah.
So anybody who wants to come down, feel free. The information's on Facebook. And then we've got another podcast coming up, John.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, it's just some guy who won 6 Mr. Olympia titles.
Who's that?
You sure as where they've been on here after me?
I don't know. He's an elusive character. He's like, he's a bit of a shadowy character.
Dorian Yates.
Dorian Yates, yes.
Dorian Yates is coming on the podcast, people.
We are actually flying out to Spain.
Yeah.
We're over there. And
for a couple of days. And we're going to be doing a podcast. Live. So please tune in.
The man himself.
Please tune into to that one. That'll be, I think, a week on Saturday. Is that right? A week on Saturday? We'll get all the times and schedules out to you on Facebook and Instagram and stuff. So just keep an eye out for that one, guys. Anything else you want to say, Dan?
Thank you very much for having me on.
No,
I really
worries.
appreciate
it's,
it.
An absolute
pleasure.
Yeah, an absolute pleasure. Thanks very much for coming down.
And we wish you all the best with the family and all that's... Well, you've got a busy year ahead of you anyway with your judging, and then
and all the clients competing and stuff like
exactly.
that. We'll be in Italy for the Worlds, I think, as well.
Oh, we'll see you there.
Are you going?
Yeah, we're streaming.
Yeah. I've got a couple of guys.
Pisa.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Awesome.
Oh, we'll see you there then, if not
Dan,
before.
Thank you, John.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Cheers, Dan. Appreciate it.
1, 2, 3, 4.